what's up, guys? Hi, Leon Hero here, and today, me and my former, fuck, I gotta restart that. I literally forgot the name of Fairy Fountain. Nice.
I mean, I guess.
I'm so disappointed.
Fairy Fountain tier list.
I was gonna call it the Slime Boss podcast.
No. We're actually ranking each of the fairy fountains in each game.
There's not even fairy fountains in every game.
Technically there is, but...
Okay. Yeah. Alright. Hey, what's up, guys? Hi, Leon Hero here, and today I'm joined by my old Fairy Fountain podcast co-host Slime to make a tier list for every single mainline Zelda, spin-off, remaster, all of them besides like the random BS ones that nobody really cares about.
Literally
one of the BS ones, yeah. So how this is going to work is we're going to go chronologically through the Zelda series, talk about where we place them in our retrospective tier lists, and then come back around, make some concessions, debate it, and make one cohesive tier list just to see where things will go.
Oh.
Hopefully I'm going to have some final say with this, but...
Yeah, well, we're gonna go one game at a time, so we'll start with the beginning, say where we place them, and then... put that on the new one, and then next game.
Perfect.
And then we can adjust at the end, but yeah.
Alright, that makes more sense. But, how much knowledge of the Zelda series do you have? Because I know I'm the big Zelda guy in this channel.
So, I've dipped my toes in majority of the games. I've only beaten, like, 2. But I have a general game feel of most of them. Only like 4 of them I don't really know at all, but however I have watched Let's Plays on all of them, or all of them except for the 4 I mentioned. Well, not actually mentioned, but mentioned.
Right.
I've seen all of them, and I played enough to have a general opinion, so we could talk story, music, gameplay. So I've seen them all, so I know what I'm talking about, and I played enough to understand, I guess.
Yeah. So I've dipped my toes into every single mainline Zelda. I've bought all the remakes, stuff like that. There's only 2 or 3 games I've never finished. I've never finished Zelda 1, I've never finished Zelda 2, and I've never finished Four Swords and Four Swords Adventures, just because of the online capabilities of that stuff at the time. It's difficult to get, you know.
God, I hope they bring that to us. So that's the first thing. As soon as it comes live, we're playing it. We're gonna.
Oh heck yeah!
It's gonna be a playthrough.
No, honestly, if they do not bring back the original Four Swords now that GBA is on NSO, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, we already know Kirby and Amazing Mirror is coming, which is essentially the same thing. So.
Right. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I think it'll come at some point. But all right, without further ado, let's get right into this. And the first Zelda game is obviously the original Legend of Zelda. Came out on the NES back in 1986. I personally placed this upper part of my C tier, somewhat towards the middle. I mean, it's a great starting point, but it's confusing. And yeah, the dungeons are mid.
Yeah, you know my opinion on this one. The world doesn't yet. The world doesn't yet, but I do. Or we do. Yeah, this game, luckily I have a new sort of look upon it. I'm starting to work on that script again. Or whenever I have time I will. But I don't know if you know who Liam Triforce is. He gave me a completely...
I love that channel.
He gave me a completely new perspective on the game. It's still absolutely garbage, but I at least
it has redeeming qualities.
Yeah, I sort of understand where they were going, and I have to realize that at the time it was a completely different world, and the way that we approach games today is a lot different than how they expected you to approach this game, and that may not be a flaw of the game. It may be because it doesn't include longevity, which is a good thing for a game to have, or replayability. But I put it at the bottom of D tier. If there was an F tier, I would put it there. I respect the game for what it has done, but it is definitely one of, if not the worst.
See, I'm not going to spoil like the rest of my rankings, but there is 6 games below the original Legend of Zelda for me on my tier list.
Yikes! 6! Excuse me. Wow.
I
Okay.
mean, it's still in the C tier. Obviously, this is one that I've never finished. I've played it a good number of times. I've gotten a lot of experience with how it controls. The music's good. Dungeons are something to desire, but it was 30,
Yeah.
like over 36, 37 years ago. I get it. It's fine.
Oh,
But yeah,
this is the
I
one
don't hate
game,
it.
one of the two games that I actually completed all the way, 100%. So let that,
See, then that's the thing. Like, I'm gonna kind of step aside and let you have final say on this one when the time comes because you've actually finished it.
which is now.
Okay.
So we have C and D. So
I mean,
you put it top of
let's
D, I
let's
guess.
let's put it top of D for right now.
Alrighty.
I respect it. All right, moving on to its little bit more annoying younger brother, The Adventure of Link. This one goes much more into the RPG mechanics. It's trying to go for a side scroller thing with like an overworld map. I hate this game.
I love
I
this game.
hate
I'm just
this game.
kidding. No,
No,
no, no, no, no.
I mean
I
it's got
love
a
it in the sense that I like a lot of people call it the black sheep of Zelda, but it wasn't a bad change. I mean, it had, first of all, the series hadn't established anything yet, and I love what the game brings to the table, like the magic and the leveling up system, which some people don't like. The 2D side scroller is kind of interesting. I wish they, of course, Miyamoto wanted to bring this back eventually someday with some sort of remake or reimagining. So it's not a
Mhm.
bad game on its own, but in comparison to the rest of the series, and also it's on the NES, so it's not the best of Zelda games. It's just kind of in the middle,
See,
you know?
for me, I understand what they were trying to do. Obviously, Zelda was not a franchise yet. They didn't know where the series was going to go, if there was going to be a series. They were just throwing stuff at the wall and hoped it stuck. But that being said, I cannot ignore how the game makes me feel, and the game makes me sad. I will say it is the second from the bottom on my list, and it goes very low in the D tier.
I have it above Zelda 1 in the D tier.
Look, I mean, I can't agree with that. I have to say it goes below Zelda 1.
Yeah, I think it's
If we want to
slightly
debate this
better
more later,
because you already know I absolutely despise playing through the original game. Like, I felt like it was a chore.
all
And,
right, I'll
well,
tell you what.
mostly because I 100%ed it. However, I just couldn't get behind what it was doing. Again, this was in the mindset of when I played it. Also, again, this is not post me watching Liam's video on it. So,
Mm.
again, and also I've never touched Adventure of Link. However, I watched a playthrough of it, and he said he loves the game. I mean, music is better than the original.
It is better than the original. So,
It starts
all right,
Dark Link. I mean, there's so
for
many
right
things that
now,
are slightly better than the original for me.
I will concede and put it just above Zelda 1, but I have a feeling this is going to get swapped around the more games that get on this list. So for right
Maybe,
now, I will concede it can go above Zelda 1.
maybe not. Who knows?
We'll see. It's still early. But on a better note, we are moving on to A Link to the Past. It came out in the
Yeah,
early 90s. This is the first game. Well, actually, it's really the only game that came out on the SNES for mainline Zelda. But
mid. Sorry, what?
I'm sorry, what?
Go ahead.
Okay. So no. Um, this game is back to the top down aspect that the original
Top,
Zelda did.
the top
I'm gonna
town.
throw something at you. Okay, so it's great. This game is fantastic. This finally has an actual story that's not in the manual. The music is fantastic. The overworld, it introduced the Dark Realm for the first time. The characters are great. The dungeons are fantastic. Why do you think it's mid?
Not okay. I was joking, but
Oh, thank God.
um, graphics are great. I love Super Nintendo graphics. Music is always great. The dungeons are fucking piss hard for no reason.
Oh, they're maybe for your first time through, but they're really not that
They're
bad.
probably the most complicated in the series, I would think. Compare 2D 2D.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Yeah, 2D, and also
Uh,
not including the DS games because those are a different kind of complicated.
for
Um,
that, I'll concede to that. I think looking at all
um,
the 2D ones, I think you're right. These are the most complicated.
and not exactly mid. I have it at the very top of B.
Okay. I put it very low S.
I say mid, but like actually mid, just kind of middle of the road for me.
I put it very low S. You put it in B. Can we concede and put it in A for right now?
Yep, sounds good to me.
Perfect. All right,
If
perfect.
there's
This
any
game,
specific things that we want to talk about it, because
I mean, I feel like I kind of ran through it all. You talked about the dungeons. The music is fantastic. This is the first time
yeah,
we've actually seen. Well, we saw Ganon in the
Kakariko,
first game, but he wasn't a character then. We saw Ganon for the first time. Um, Obviously
Kakariko.
the arts, Kakariko, the art style is fantastic. It actually This is like the first proper story that takes place inside of the game and not the instruction manual.
Uncle, let's
There's just
go.
there's a lot to love. He was very short lived,
Literally.
but all
Alrighty.
right. So uh, just a year or two later, we're moving over to the Game Boy with Link's Awakening, and I won't lie, I kind of fibbed on this one a little bit. Like I put in my ranking, I put it right next to the Switch version. It's not as the same as the Switch version at all. I think the original Game Boy version's kind of mediocre.
So I have.
The game is fantastic.
So don't forget DX, but I put these like, you can interchange these two. I'd say DX is slightly better,
I
but
put them in two. I put DX and two similar to rank, but
yeah.
I feel like they're interchangeable. Yeah. That being said, I mean, Koholint Island's a fantastic world. I feel like the dungeons were okay. There's nothing really fantastic about them. I feel like they kind of are a little basic. Nothing wrong with that because I think the overworld adventure exploration and stuff truly shines in this game. So I feel kind of dirty for putting it. I put it very low S tier, like right next to Link's Awakening on the Switch. I
Okay.
feel like I wanna move that down to B.
So do you want to talk about remake right now too?
Uh, let's do it.
All right. So I put Link's
I mean,
Awakening and Link's Awakening DX together. The image I have is I'm gonna change it a little bit. I'm gonna put that bottom of S as well. Um,
okay.
this is honestly one of, if not my favorite game of all time. Not this version, not the
Really?
original.
Right.
So obviously I have the remake ranking higher at top of SS. Well, not top of, but in the middle.
Right.
This is my favorite 2D Zelda game. Absolutely my favorite. I cry when I hear the music. Obviously, I'm not connected to the Zelda series as much as I am Mario, so it doesn't have that much strong emotional connection as I would a Mario game. So this is my favorite Zelda game for sure, 100%. The
I can
remake
respect it.
obviously is so much better. I will say that the reason why they're so far apart from me is because of the controls. The controls again feel very very stiff, just like the original game, as well as having to constantly switch your items all the time.
Yeah.
And that could make the difficulty a lot spike because of the controls like that. And Link's Awakening remake fixed this tenfold, causing it to be my favorite game. And the music, the graphics, the art style is so creative. I love Toy Link, and that was the first amiibo I bought day one ever before buying Steve. I don't have him here unfortunately, but you do.
Little Toy Link.
I love Toy Link, but yeah, no, these aren't my favorite dungeons in the series. They're later in the game. They aren't as tight, and they end up dragging. I had a very long time where I didn't complete the game between play sessions because of a particular dungeon that confused me, and I tried my best to play it without a guide, and once I got towards the end, that's when I started using a guide because I started getting a little bit too confused. I did use a guide for heart pieces though, just because I didn't want to waste my time with those. The references as well, I mean, I'm the Mario guy, so we got Mario in here.
Yeah.
But no, it is a fantastic game. So I have the original 2 DX slightly above the original because it's slightly better, obviously, including an extra mode, and then Link's as a bottom of S, and then Link's Awakening at top of double S or remake. Sorry.
I'm not gonna go into like really specific details on this for a lot of games, but I feel like I have to with the Switch version of Link's Awakening. I did not like the dungeon builder.
Oh,
That knocks it down a peg for me. I hate to say
so
it.
I don't think it knocks it down a peg for me. I will say that it's a very forgettable mode, and I'm kind of on the fence. Part of me wants me to see more of what it could do if it was like a standalone game. Part of me doesn't want me to
I do
see it
too.
again. Part of
I
me
mean,
doesn't want
if
to
they
see it again.
actually if they refined it, it would be fine, but it just
Yeah.
feels so cookie cutter. It feels so
Yeah,
generic.
but
And
if
I
so
don't have fun playing it, and they force me to play it to get certain items.
if you well not only some heart pieces, it's mostly not required. I think you only have to do it once. Um
Fair. But
but
still.
I mean, it's not as bad as the seashells, or at least in the original game, because it was broken in the original game.
I agree.
But again, this is just an additional mode. Unlike Link's Awakening DX, where the additional thing was basically required and also required you to have a color device, which
Mhm.
made it hard for original Game Boy owners. And the color dungeon is in this game as well.
Yes.
But I just think that the dungeon maker element, it was a cool idea. And also, I guess some people might argue that this might should have been the selling point, but I think that the graphics and the music alone were the selling point for me. Um, so I just think it was just a nice little additional feature. You don't have to go into it. I didn't go in depth with it. I didn't 100% all the heart containers because I didn't go in depth with it because it was a little strange, but like I said, it's just an additional mode. It's not as required as the color dungeon previously, so I think it's just fine.
Yeah, it's a great game. I think right now my ranking is going to be Link's Awakening DX and the two similar to rank. Link's Awakening original, I'm going to put it in A tier, and Link's Awakening on the Switch. I know it's double S tier for you. I would be fine with putting it very low double S or high S, like at the very top.
Okay, so you have it at bottom of S.
Right
Links.
now on my list, I have both the original and Link's Awakening on the Switch at the very bottom of S, but I am willing to drop Link's Awakening on the Game Boy down to A and bump up Link's Awakening to high S tier.
Okay. Well,
Or very, very low double S.
Well, we're both on S, so for the original, so we can just put
I
the
thought
original at the bottom.
okay.
Yeah, so
Perfect.
bottom of S, and then I'll do original Link's Awakening at bottom of double S. Well, we don't have anything there,
Okay.
so it's top right now. But and
Okay.
I'm gonna put Link's Awakening slightly above the original, just because that's
Yeah, I
just
agree.
it is. So
Yeah.
all right,
All
sorry.
right. Time to no, you're good. Time to ruffle some feathers. The next Zelda game is possibly the most monumental in the series, if you ask some people. It's Ocarina of Time. Came out in 1998 for the Nintendo
Oh
64.
right, okay. I was looking at Oracle for some reason.
Nope, that's not for a couple more games actually. But what is there that hasn't been said about Ocarina of Time?
It's
The game
garbage.
is
I'm just kidding.
fan.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
I
kidding.
mean, that has been said too. I
Yeah.
don't think they're right, but the dungeons for the first 3D Zelda game, I think they knocked it out of the park. The overworld for what it was great. The music, there's some bangers in that.
Yeah.
I think the story is a little cookie cutter, but I think it's serviceable enough.
Yeah, and I think they didn't really want to focus on the story too much because they're obviously focusing on a whole new world,
Right.
whole new engine, 3D, and Majora's Mask kind of takes the cake for story. So that like tenfold. So they definitely focused on story after they already got their footing in the 3D realm. Back
Mhm.
to Ocarina though. I have a really hard time getting myself to finish this. I don't know why. I love the game. Um, I don't have anything negative to say about it. I definitely think there are games that are leagues better than it. Um, mostly Link's Awakening, and also, are we talking remake as well here?
Yes, let's just do
Okay.
that going forward for all the ones that have
Okay. All
remakes.
right. So Ocarina Original, I put middle of B. However,
Okay.
I love the game. I think it's one of the best. But I don't really have an explanation why I have them so far apart. Ocarina of Time for 3D is my second favorite game. It is right below
So
Link's Awakening remake, double S,
we
3D.
were talking about this before we started recording, that I basically put the remasters besides one excuse that we're gonna talk about actually next, right next to each other.
Okay.
So I put Ocarina of Time original middle of S tier, and I put Ocarina of Time 3D second from the top on S tier.
So
But I am absolutely willing to go double S for Ocarina of Time 3D.
So, unlike Link's Awakening, where I think that there's definitely a huge drastic change between the two in graphics and gameplay, and I think main thing is the gameplay.
Mhm.
So that's why I have them so far apart. But already, Link's Awakening is such a good game. However, I don't really have an explanation why I put Ocarina in the middle there. I put a lot of the 3D games in the middle just because I typically prefer the 2D ones generally because of my favorite
Mhm.
being Link's Awakening. But again, that doesn't make any sense because I put Ocarina of Time 3D in double S.
For me,
So I'm
for me,
having a hard time explaining this.
right. I mean, for me, I looked back at both of them. Ocarina of Time 3D is the one that I will always go to play for new playthroughs.
Yes.
But I played a little bit of it on NSO for N64, and it's really, you can go into it fine. It holds up
Hmm.
pretty well outside of like the item changing and stuff, especially when you like get to the water temple with the iron boots. But
Yeah. I think
they're both it holds up very well for being 25 years old this year.
Yeah, I mean, both games. I think the difference between Link's Awakening and the original is it's a huge gap, but the original in 3D, it's literally just a graphics change, the touch screen and the map on the bottom screen. They don't really do too much with the bottom screen either. So
Right.
you're perfectly fine hopping into either one. I know the original is more easily accessible in today's day and age because of the NSO. Um, but yeah, like I said, the 3D version. Oh yeah, you also have Master Quest, which originally was exclusive to the GameCube, which I didn't rank on here either. I don't know if you did.
I've never played Master Quest more than just like hopping in and getting through the Deku Tree. It's always been interesting to me, but I've never had like a craving to like finish Ocarina of Time and be like, okay, let's go look at a different version. So I have never actually finished it.
I think that this game is extremely respectable. I think that it's my favorite, particularly because of. I really don't know. I really don't have an answer for you. Actually no. You know what? I'm gonna swap some things around. I'm gonna keep them at B and double S. However, I think I'm gonna put Majora above Ocarina. Um, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
do it.
Just because of the story. That's literally the only reason.
See,
And again, I don't have an
I
explanation why
think
they're so far apart. But there's only 5 that I put in double S, and one's more so a joke. But
fair. I only have 4 in double S, and one of them is a remaster.
yeah. So
But speaking of Majora's Mask, it is a really the only
oh
direct
wait,
sequel we have.
where are we
What's
putting?
that?
Where are we putting them? Sorry, where are we putting
I
them?
thought we were putting. I thought we agreed. You want to put Ocarina 64 in B. I want to lift it to A.
Okay, we'll put it
I feel
bottom of
like
A.
B is perfect, and I think Ocarina 3D can stay in low double S. I would put it. Do I want to put it above Link's Awakening on Switch?
I don't.
That's the thing though. Like on my ranking, I have it much higher than the Link's Awakening, but I'm thinking about. I'll concede to it because I'm gonna go harsh on some games coming up here pretty soon.
Yeah.
So we can keep Link's Awakening above Ocarina 3D on double
All
S.
right. And then yeah, so Majora.
Majora direct. It's the first like direct sequel. Like there's a couple of ones that are like 100 years in the future, but this is before Tears of the Kingdom. This is the first direct sequel, same Link playable,
Not true.
same world. Which one's you
Well,
thinking?
it's not the same world either, but number
Phantom
1,
Hourglass.
Zelda 2 is the same Link,
Yeah,
and
it is. You're
Link's
right.
Awakening and the Oracle games and Link to the Past are all the same Link.
That is true. So is Phantom Hourglass, to be fair with Wind Waker. So you got
Yeah,
me there.
yeah. Well, Phantom
But I
Hourglass is
don't.
after.
That's my problem.
Yeah.
Is I don't consider those direct sequels because they never really touch on the events of the past game. But you do
Link's
have a point.
Awakening. I think Link's Awakening does maybe, kind of.
If it does,
I
very
think it's
vaguely.
supplemental material. It's not in the game
All
itself.
right, all right, fair enough. But like Majora's Mask like has cutscenes of Ocarina of Time, Zelda, and like stuff of that, like vaguely. So I mean, like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Okay.
But getting
Yeah.
off the topic of that, Majora's Mask. I'm not gonna say it does everything better than Ocarina of Time, but it definitely does have the better story. Side quests are king in this game. The characters. I don't think I like Termina as much as I do Ocarina of Time's Hyrule, but I don't think that really matters too much when the dungeons in Majora's Mask, even though there's only 4, each one is fantastic in their own ways.
So, sorry, you want to keep
No,
going?
you're good.
All
I
right.
was done. No, I was done.
So I love Termina so much more than the original world because it's a lot more tight, close knit.
That is fair.
The 4 dungeons are also very tight, very great dungeons. Probably the best in the series. Um, and I mean, all of them are leagues better than Water Temple. Fuck that shit. But no, I think that the world is a lot more tight knit. I think the characters are a lot better. I think that the story is a lot better. I think the music is
For
a
sure.
lot better. I think
Yeah.
I think the reason, a lot of people say, "Oh, Majora only has 4 dungeons." Well, first of all, it was only developed in like what, 2 years, something like that,
Yeah,
less than that.
a year and a half, 2 years,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
So, but that's part of it. But also, you have to understand that it's more. This game isn't about the dungeons, right? Just like Breath of the
No, it's
Wild,
not.
it's more about the world and the characters. And there's so much more to do. There's so many more puzzles that are outside of dungeons. There's
Yep.
so many creative things that they do with the masks. I mean, the titular Majora. I mean, this is like the most. This is like This should be the black sheep of Zelda, literally and figuratively, and yet it is so core to the series. I don't know how to explain it. It's a great game. I put it above Ocarina and B, and the remake is actually so much better than the original compared to.
No, it's not. No, it's
Whoa,
not.
okay, this is where we're rumbling.
This
This is where we
no, this
argue
is
here.
this is what I've been talking about. I
So,
love Majora's Mask 3D. I love it. It was one of my most anticipated games after Ocarina 3D happened. It makes the game a lot. It simplifies it in ways that I don't appreciate. Like
okay.
the Bomber's Notebook update was fantastic, and like just the graphics look fantastic. But it just does little things where it's like it makes the quality of life stuff better. But this is one of the few games where I feel like the quality of life should not be better in certain aspects.
So this is where I disagree with you because I feel like the difference between Ocarina and Ocarina 3D is minuscule. In fact, it is
It is.
basically just graphics, and it's barely that. And obviously
And I agree.
the second screen, but Majora does so much more out of its way to be a remake than Ocarina
It
was.
ruins the dungeon bosses. It gives them little eyes everywhere. It does stuff that makes it more. I hate saying this, child friendly.
To be fair, I don't care in that specific
And
aspect.
that's fair.
And also,
but
what was that
I
one
do.
change? There's like a huge change in one of the bosses, that like the giant sand snake. It was a very huge
Oh yeah,
change. Like the
they
battle
like
is
changed
completely
the.
different.
They changed the battle. It's like I don't hate Majora 3D. I still consider them very close to each other, but I personally I put Majora 64 at the top of S tier above Ocarina 3D, and I put Majora 3D right below Ocarina 3D. So I still love the 3DS version, and I still will go to the 3DS version every time I want to play the game. But I do understand the changes that could be taken as negatively impacting the original vision of the game.
So I have Majora above Ocarina in B, and then 3D I have it above Ocarina now because I changed it in double S right next to Ocarina.
I can't put Majora's Mask 3D in double S. I can't do it. I I want to put it above Ocarina though, so this is the fight we're having here. But I
Yeah.
cannot, in good faith, put the 3DS version above Ocarina.
Yeah. Wait. So
I
you're
am
saying
willing.
Majora's Mask 3D is worse than the original Ocarina?
No, the way it is in my tier list right now is S goes Majora's Mask 64, Ocarina 3D, Majora 3D, and then Ocarina 64.
I mean, I don't
So
have
I think
Ocarina in S, and so are you saying it
that's
goes
the
to? Are
problem.
you gonna put it down to S because it's bottom of double S for me?
Well, that was the concession I gave to you. I raised it up to double S just because you did convince me, but I don't consider Ocarina at all or Majora to be a double S game.
Wait, do we even
But
have it in double S right now? Oh yeah, we do. All
yeah,
right, fine.
we agreed to put it
We can
there.
put it up below Ocarina 3D in double S.
I don't want Majora in double S. That's the problem. Even on my ranking, and I adore this game, I did not put it in double
All
S.
right, let's. Where do we put the original then? Because I have it in B, above Ocarina. We have Ocarina in A currently, original.
I want to keep base Majora in S. It can go very low S for all I care, but it needs to stay in S. And I will concede that the quality of life stuff for Majora 3D keeps it higher than base. Not for me personally, but Majora in high S. 3D high S, 64 low S, as much as that hurts me.
Okay, so let's just okay. Right now we have double S, Link's Awakening, Ocarina 3D, S,
Mhm.
Link's Awakening DX, original Link's Awakening, Majora, A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time original.
I think we put Majora 3D just at the very top of S for right now. Put it above Link's Awakening.
Okay.
So I can live with that.
I'll concede with that. I'll agree.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on to, let's just talk about these in one fell swoop because they're very similar.
The Oracle.
Capcom was given the reign to make some Zelda games, and they came up with Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages. Came out 2001 on the Game Boy Color.
I love these games. I wish they
I'm
would get a remake. I love that both of the games have a different focus and the linked functionality. It's all so great and creative.
It is.
I really, really wish that they got a remake because again, this game also has the issue of the controls, and then again, if it was in the Toy Link design, then the graphics would be incredible. Music is so much better than Link's Awakening. However,
Yeah.
ultimately, and again, these are interchangeable. I have them both below Link's Awakening in S.
For me, I do really enjoy these games. They're fantastic. They're different. They're different aspects in each game, and then they connect at the end for a secret if you played both of them. Is fantastic. However, this is where you and I are going to start to differ. I vastly prefer the 3D ones, and this is kind of when the 2D ones start to dip for me.
Oh
Not in
yeah.
quality, but just I put them at the very top of B tier.
Ooh. All right. I guess we can put them in A because again,
I agree.
these I'm kind of indifferent to them right now. I put them really high because I love them a lot, but
Mm,
they desperately need a remake, like
agreed.
desperately. So
And it doesn't mean much, but I think Seasons is just a touch better than Ages.
I don't care. So we'll
Yeah,
put it.
it doesn't matter to me. Like
So
it's
bottom of
very
A.
minute. I can live with that, yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right, moving on to the next 3D one.
Finish. I'm
The
just
Legend
kidding.
of Zelda, we're coming up to that one. The Wind Waker came out on the GameCube in 2003. People love this game for its ocean design, the characters. I will admit, the Triforce hunting quests, the dungeons are
So
kind of eh.
I have some thoughts about this.
Please take it away.
Dungeons are eh. Graphics again, they hold up to this day. They're amazing. Music is great. But this game, I mean, most of the time the conversation is about, oh, well, originally people wanted the realistic graphics, and then they realized they didn't want that, and now Link's Awakening or Wind Waker is held high. My major issue is how much crunch that they had for this game, and how much was incidentally cut from this game, and how much that they
Yep.
didn't want to put in the remake for some reason, and they decided to focus on statues or
Yeah.
whatever they did. Again, the remake is great. I love the graphics in
Mm,
that in it, but like, and again, it's just the original game, but better. Unlike Majora, apparently to you. Um, um, but no, it's just my major issue is just how much we don't have in this game, if that makes any sense. And the game feels short for no reason. And again, I have a weird negativity towards the GameCube. I don't like Sunshine. I don't like Double Dash. Not
mm.
because of the tracks, because of
Right.
the Double Dash feature.
Like,
There's
I
a
get it.
It's almost like in my head there's a rivalry between the GameCube and the Wii will always be supreme. But the GameCube, which is weird because we'll talk about Twilight here in a minute, but I know I love the game. I love the art style. I think the art style is what's gonna tip it over. But again, what we could have had in this game was complete.
See, I have a weird relationship with Wind Waker. After Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess, this was the next big step for me in my Zelda adventure as a child. The game has so much character. It is so charming. But when I look at, like, especially comparing it to the other 3D Zelda games, I have a hard time calling it a favorite. Like, it has so much charm. It tries so hard. The story is very lovable. It's great. I love seeing. I have no issue with the cartoony art style. I think it's
Oh,
beautiful. It holds up very well. What's up?
nothing. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I forgot
You're all good.
Skyward Sword HD isn't on here. That's what I was missing.
Yeah, I told. Yeah, Age of
Okay.
Calamity and Skyward aren't on this one, but we'll touch on them still.
Okay.
But no, this game has so much charm. It to me right now, it is my second least favorite 3D Zelda game. So don't get that twisted. I still put it middle of S tier. I still love this game, but it is hit by lack of content. It's hit by just the content it has. Like, I will never call Wind Waker's. I think Wind Waker probably has the most mediocre dungeons in the 3D games.
Okay.
Besides Breath of the Wild's Divine Beast, but that's a whole other topic. I don't really consider those
So
dungeons per se.
original, I have an A.
Mhm.
Double S is my bottom of double S.
You put Wind Waker HD in bottom of double S?
Yes.
I can't if no. I mean, I put them both in S tier. I am willing to drop the GameCube one down to somewhere in A tier. And
I'll put it in S. That's fine. Yeah.
can you read out the S tier again for me? What we have so far? But no, like read off what we have on S so far.
Okay. S. Majora 3D, Link's Awakening DX, Original Link's Awakening, Majora's Mask.
Let's put what do you think? I think we should put
I
Wind
can
Waker HD in between Majora and Link's Awakening personally.
Original? Wait.
HD. HD.
HD, yes.
No.
That's
When original I think should go somewhere mid to low A tier.
I think that it's better than Majora.
Really?
Yeah, original.
Wait,
'Cause oh wait,
wait,
no,
we
no, 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 no.
no, Majora 3D
below Majora 3D. Yeah,
above
definitely
Link's
above
Awakening
Link's Awakening.
DX.
Sorry, all right. Yeah, we know
No,
we
you're
both
good.
we have
We're
both Majora.
yeah.
We have both
But no,
Majoras
whenever
and
I
S, so yeah.
yeah, but no, Majora 3D is at the top. Okay,
And
perfect.
then original top of A.
Yeah, I can. That's perfect. All
Okay.
right. This is gonna ruffle some feathers with you, I think, but I will always consider this one the
What are we talking
second
about?
best 2D Zelda game. Minish Cap. This game is
I
fantastic.
fucking hate this game.
Why? Why?
I love the Minish idea. However, this was a fucking slog for me to watch, and I watched it. I didn't even play it. I watched it. Number
I knew this was
one.
gonna ruffle your feathers.
Number
No, I
one,
think
there are no standout musics for me. Number
it's
two,
true.
Eslo's more annoying than Kirsty. Number
No,
three, Vati means fucking nothing.
Body is a cool villain.
He is not. He is terrible.
Yes, he is. He's
He's
great.
literally nothing.
No,
Number
like
four, the dungeons. I don't really remember them, so I guess we'll say they're unmemorable. Graphics, I really like. Again, I like the SNES Game Boy era. Let's see what else. There's a few dungeons I do remember that are I despise because they're a little weird mechanically. Let's see what else. Let's see. The one defining thing that sets this apart from other Zelda games, minus the Minish, which is a cool idea. The Kinstones.
I knew you were gonna go there. Don't even.
Fuck the Kinstones. And I'm scared to death because, again, I haven't played this game, but I am scared to death to play that game because I 100% games and I do not want to touch those things. They can go in the COVID jar. Like, God, I first of all, they're random. Second of all, you have to find this. I hate the Kinstone system, and also on top of that, there's another random system that is technically optional, but I think they do actually give you heart pieces in this, and that's the gotcha machine because there's an actual gotcha machine in this game.
Yes, there is a gotcha machine.
Ah!
Let me live it down. Look, I will agree with you on two things. I will agree with you that the music is very mediocre, and the Kinstones suck. I will give you
There is
those.
one song that plays in my head over and over again. I think that's the Minas Forest theme. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's exactly what's going
but that's about it.
Yep. Okay.
I don't know. Just
like
that is like, other than the originals, that is one game that just sticks out to me. Other than the DS games, because I'm still iffy on those. I don't really know the positives or negatives, but it just is the one game that sticks out to me, and I just can't. I don't have any highlights.
no, I think the dungeons are really fun. Yeah, there's a couple that are kind of generic, but I think they're great.
Again, like I said, I don't know. I don't remember the dungeons enough. So again, I'm just gonna put it out there as a blanket statement saying they're not memorable. But again, because I don't remember them. There's a couple where I do remember, but I remember the mechanics being jank. One of which is the gust bellows on the lily pad, and then it was just a couple of things that were just kind of if I went in a blind playthrough, would be unclear to me.
I played this game when I was young. I never had a problem with it. I think the items like the gust bellows is whatever. The digging mitts were really cool. The bosses were fantastic more times than not. The art style, we've already discussed this. It's one of my favorites in the entire franchise.
That is one highlight I will agree with, but
I will admit I put it in S tier below Wind Waker, but I know it's not going to stay there because of because of your hatred for it.
You don't want it. If I could put this in F tier, I would. It is top.
There's a game coming up that I want to put in F tier too, so maybe we should create an F tier. I'm kidding.
It is top of D, above.
No. How high can I get you to place this without having an aneurysm? How high?
Well, it's
Where
an
can I
S,
get
so
this?
B.
Do we have anything in B tier right now?
No.
All right, I will concede to sticking it in B tier. It pains my heart, but this is not the game I'm going to bat for.
I don't know how you knew I hated this game, but
I feel like I've heard you ramble about the Kinstones before. I knew it was coming.
Mostly the Kinstones, but again, dungeons aren't memorable, music isn't memorable, which sucks for a Zelda game.
No, I think this is the second best. You're not gonna like me for this. I think it's better than Link's Awakening. I think it's better than Link to the Past. There's only one 2D Zelda I think is better than it, and we'll get to it eventually.
Yeah.
So I think this is Capcom's best 2D Zelda, but I know how much you love Oracle games, so I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna fight to get it above it.
I mostly enjoyed the mechanics that the Oracle games brought with the seasons and the ages and then the linking thing really got me. Yeah, so
But all right, this is the game.
I'll link your cables, but I won't link your
All right,
consoles.
fine. All right, this is the one I'm going to bat for. If you do not let me have this one, I will show up to your house with an unhappy face, throw it on, just violently cry in
Wait,
front of you.
I'm gonna guess. Oh,
Twilight Princess
Twilight Princess is going
is
first?
the best Zelda game.
Oh, we skipped a few
Which ones we
that I
skip?
ranked.
Oh, we
Force,
skipped Four
yeah,
Swords, didn't we?
yeah.
I forgot
So
those
okay,
existed. All right,
so
let's ramble back. Let's go back.
I don't even have anything to say. These are this and I don't know if you have anything to say on Triforce, but I looped those together. Triforce, Four Swords Adventures. I don't have any words for them because I haven't seen them or played them at all.
All right, I'm just gonna run through my rankings for these because
However, I did rank A
Force.
Link to the Past remake, and I put that in a bottom of A tier. So
I didn't even rank that one. I said it was too similar. It can sit where A Link to the Past is for me. Four Swords and Four Swords Adventures, they have great ideas. I love where they were doing with it, but I don't have enough experience with them. I put Four Swords Original in middle of C tier, Adventures lower B. Triforce Heroes.
wait,
I
Adventure is
like what.
lower B. Four
No, yeah,
Swords
is
original
mid C.
is mid C. Okay, I'll put
I
Anniversary
didn't rank.
above it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then A Link to the Past
Um,
remake. Where did we put A Link to the Past? Oh, I'll put it
I
below.
don't.
I'll put it below Wind Waker, above original.
Okay.
And
And as
then
for
what's the last one?
Triforce Heroes, I know we're jumping a little bit for this one. I like what they tried to go for here. You could tell they wanted an asset reusing game for A Link Between Worlds, and they wanted to try something wacky. I do not like this game.
Okay.
This game is high D tier for me,
I'm putting it.
and that's not saying much.
Is this above the originals?
No, that's the thing though. I didn't put it above the original Zelda. I did put it above Adventure of Link. But no, those cannot.
Okay,
This game cannot go above the originals.
Let me read it out to you then. All right, so double
Okay.
S, Link's Awakening remake, Ocarina remake. Regular S, Majora 3D, Wind Waker HD, Link's Awakening DX, Original Link's Awakening, Majora's Mask. A, Original Wind Waker, Link to the Past remake, Original Link to the Past, Ocarina, Ocarina, Original. Seasons,
Okay.
Ages. B, Minish Cap, Four Swords Adventures. C, Anniversary Edition, Four Swords. And then D, Triforce Heroes, Adventure of Link. And then the original Legend of Zelda.
Put that Triforce Heroes at the very end of D for right now.
Okay. Again, I don't.
No,
Those are the one of the three games that I did not rank, other than the BS Master Quest, whatever.
No.
So
I do.
it was Triforce, Four Swords, and Four Swords Adventures. The reason is because the only Let's Play that there is the Runaway guys, and we like to play. Those are the only Let's Plays of these games.
Yeah, no. Triforce Heroes had some good ideas, but it's not enough to save it. I know it's meant to be multiplayer, but you try playing this game single player, which they allow, and it's hell.
Oh, it's like impossible, I'm sure.
It's hell.
They should have just locked that.
the
Yeah, they should have just
Exactly.
locked that feature. I'm sure. I don't know if it's going to be great or not with multiplayer. I will eventually play it, but I want to have the full experience.
I will say there's only 2 Zelda games I hate. And one of them was Adventure of Link. The other one we're going to get to soon enough. I don't hate this game. I just strongly dislike it, and I'm never going to touch it again if I have the chance. If I have the choice to never play it again, I'm never playing it again.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So back to Twilight Princess.
This will be our last one for right now.
Yes. I know I said a minute ago that this is my favorite Zelda game. That's not entirely true. It swaps between another one we'll get to later, back and forth. But Twilight Princess has the best story, non-Skyward Sword, in this series. The dungeons are top-notch. You will find so many of the series' staple best in this game. I know the game does not graphically age well. I love the art style. Midna is the strongest companion character this series has ever had. I will not
Strongest.
hear otherwise. Midna's Lament
Midna.
is the one of the best Zelda tracks in the series.
True.
I will give Wolf Link can be crap sometimes. The Tears of Light is shit. I will not deny that. But it's not the only Zelda game that does that crap, so I'm giving it an excuse.
Skyward, yeah. Oh, Tears
All
is
right.
definitely gonna do that.
I don't know. I'm not convinced on that yet, but you never know.
All right,
But
so
all right.
if I were to do like an actual ranking of the mainline games, I would probably put Minish at the bottom and then Twilight above that. However, this is a tier list. This is different than an actual ranking. So,
Do I have to catch a flight to Arizona right now?
yes.
I'm sorry. We're not
Twilight
leaving
Princess.
this call.
I put the original Twilight Princess at the bottom of B and the remake in the middle somewhere of A.
I'm sorry. We are not leaving to go to cut off to the next part until this HD at least
HD
is
is
in
middle
some
of A.
form. No, we are not leaving until this game is an SS tier. I don't care where this game is. No, it is.
No, it can go in S.
No.
I'll be fine with S, but I cannot put it in
not
double
going
F.
in. No.
Number
it is
one.
Going at the.
Can you at least
no.
hear me out? Can I
No,
talk?
I'm kidding. Go for it.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Art style has never been good from the beginning. Even HD could not fix its problems. I still like Ocarina. This is completely different. It is too realistic, too much whatever. It's like blurry for some reason. Even the HD version is blurry. Character design. I don't like the character design at all. I think it's weird.
I can respect most of that. Link and Zelda and Ganondorf look fantastic.
Music, I'll agree. That is great. Fantastic. One of some of the best in the series. Midna. To be honest with you, I hate all the companions. So I hate everyone equally. So that's not. However, I will succumb. Is that the word? To that one moment in the game. You know what I'm talking about. I didn't. I think that was very nice, but I think the problem is I didn't like her from the beginning, so it didn't hit as hard as it should have.
But that was supposed to be the part that made you genuinely care.
I still didn't, and I remember watching your Pal Ral's playthrough of it, and he was just like, "This is like the moment that really made me like this game," and I'm just like, she can die for all I care.
Look, all I'm gonna say is I have made so many concessions to you because I knew this moment was going to come.
Yeah,
I need this game.
Yeah.
I need this game in essence.
It's okay.
I need it there.
So let's talk more
It
mechanically.
can be at the very bottom.
Because this is
Okay.
we've been talking opinionated. Well, we're still talking opinionated, but we need to talk mechanic. I think the game is too long. With how do I explain this? The dungeons are very long, and they're not.
But they're fantastic.
They are. I think that these are the worst dungeons in the series. Not including originals.
City in the Sky, Arbiter's
No.
Grounds,
Design wise,
Snow Peak.
That is the worst. If we're talking purely
Lake
based
Bed
on
Temple.
if we're talking purely based on visuals, they are great. If we are talking
Temple of
design, if we're talking design, they are the most confusing and they're way too long. They're way too
They
long. They
are
waste the
not.
player's time. Especially
Look,
with
if you
a
were- if
portable
you're gonna
player
talk
like
about-
me, like pick up and play type of gamer, you cannot stop in the middle of a dungeon. You have to run
This
it
is
through.
a console
takes-
Zelda game before Breath of the Wild.
Even
this is not a pick
Ocarina-
up and play game.
Even Wind Waker and Majora respect the player's time. You will literally sit there for 2+ hours without a save point. It is awful.
You will not sit in that dungeon. If any dungeon takes you longer than an hour, I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it. I hate
You
saying this.
look at
That's
your
a-
Power Ral's
that's
videos. He
a-
takes
that's
multiple
a skill
videos.
issue.
He takes
That is a
multiple
skill
videos.
issue.
He takes
That
multiple
is a
videos.
skill issue. No. If you know what you're doing, and they are not that complicated, most of them, I will give you like 1 or 2 dungeons can be complicated. These dungeons do not take you more than an hour. They don't.
Story other than Midna is a little strange. I think that at this point in the series, the what do you call them?
What are
The
you
the
talking about?
the Resurrector story has been overused. I don't like Zant. I think I like Zant in comparison. I think it's a good antagonist and an antithesis to Midna, but not. I think it was like his. If he was the final boss, I would have been fucking fantastic. But then they had
Yeah,
to
that
shoe. If they had to
I
shoe
will
in
give you that.
Ganondorf.
I will give you that. That was a
So
shoe in. I will not deny that.
because of that, I hate him more because he is now a resurrector. If he wasn't that, then he would be a much better villain. I think
The
Midna. I don't like characters like
companion,
Vi,
yeah, I get
companion
that.
characters. Other Huey's probably my favorite, but even then he's not necessary. You know what I'm talking about, right? Paint
Paper
can.
Mario?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the closest thing I can relate to. I mean, oh, actually, no, that's not true. I love Starlo. Starlo, she's great. I don't like the
Yeah,
suit.
she
I
is
don't
great.
like the suitcase either. But yeah, I don't like Midna for those reasons. I think that moment was sweet. But then it didn't give me the same emotional punch. Dungeons are long. Music's great. I don't like the art style. I don't like the art design. Yeah.
I'm gonna just do this plea, and I hope it works. I need the sympathy vote here. Um, this Hyrule is my favorite in the series besides Breath of the Wild. I think
If
it
we're
gets.
talking Hyrule, I would say A Link to the Past. Yeah.
They're close. I still think Twilight's got it. But I
Because
think if you're going to talk about wasting players' time, there is parts of the story that could have been clipped. Like the Tears of Light quest could have been completely avoided. But I still think the dungeons are fantastic. Many of them are in my top 10 dungeons in the entire series. The items are very creative, although I will admit they are very underutilized outside of the dungeons. I will give you that. This game needs to be in double S. I will
I
not stand for anything else.
all right,
This is my
let's at
one
least
foot in the
talk
ground.
original first. So original, I put bottom of B. Or yeah.
Do you think it's okay? But let's look at it compared to what we have right now. Do you think Twilight Princess Wii is worse than Minish Cap? I will let you put Wii version in B somehow.
No.
Really? Okay.
It can
I
go
will
above
agree.
Minish Cap. I will
I
not
will
I will
agree to
not
that.
put it above Oracle.
That is fine. I can live with that.
So top of A or bottom of A or top of B.
I want to say bottom of A, but if you want top of B, I will be fine with it.
I'll put it top. Okay.
But
I
I
will
am
do
not leaving this
okay.
call.
I will put it at bottom of A.
Okay.
However, I will put Twilight Princess anywhere except for double S.
No. I'm sorry.
I can't.
It can be very bottom of double S.
I can put
will
it top of
that.
S, but I can't put it any higher than that. Top of S is
No.
basically bottom of double S.
I'm sorry. I can't not.
All
This
right,
is my second favorite game of all time we're talking about here. I cannot.
I am going to
stand
put
for
it.
this.
I am going to put it at top of S for now because I do have to go, and you have to go as
Okay.
well. But we can continue this discussion
we
in
will
a
be
minute.
back. Yeah. No, this is not ending like that. But okay, we're
Okay.
gonna take a break. We'll be back in a sec for part 2.
All
Same
right.
video. Stick around. Yada. So do I. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw it out there. We'll put Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess HD at the very top of S tier, and I will argue my heart out once we get to the end and we make our final changes. Okay. Going from a Zelda game I love to my least favorite in the entire series, Phantom Hourglass.
Oh.
I hate everything about this game besides Linebeck.
All right. Music incredible. The building system too much. I think
The
some of
Temple of the Ocean King
God,
ruined this game
yeah.
for me.
Um,
Second one.
There's a couple of things that they cut from Wind Waker and they put in this game, like DS Island and well, it would have been GameCube Island and
Yeah. I mean,
This is
the game tries.
this
Go
game
for it.
tries. It's pretty good. Like it's definitely more on the positive, but this is definitely the definition of mid, for sure. It's not good, not bad.
I made it very clear that this is one of like the 2 or 3 games I hate, but I get it. I just
Let me
have a
guess, you hate
personal
both of the
bias.
2D, both of the DS
No,
Zeldas. Oh,
no,
okay.
it's this and a Adventure of Link.
Oh,
No, I actually quite like Spirit Tracks. Not to spoil that one, but no,
again,
for me,
The
it's
DS
just
games are just kind of a blip in my memory. Like every single one, there's things I know about them and remember about them that stick out in my mind, and DS ones are just kind of there.
and I'm gonna be honest with myself here. If I went back to Phantom Hourglass, gave it another playthrough, gave it another chance, I might come out more optimistic with it. However, I can't get myself to do that again. I originally played
Did
these.
you play the original DS version?
Yes, I did.
Play the Wii U version with save states. That will probably change your mind because it's mostly
Yeah,
the Temple of the Ocean King, right?
it probably. Yes, but the problem with that is if that's gonna feel like cheating. I shouldn't have to cheat just to get through a game.
Well,
But you're
say that
probably
about the
onto something.
original games. There's no way and no how you would have any fun without save states.
But I mean, that's why I put it that low. I mean, I agree with you completely.
But either
But
way, just to be devil's
I
advocate, but I put it in C tier, so just
I am
being
fine with C.
painfully mid.
Where are we putting it in C tier if we put it in C tier? Because I think we have like a couple games in there already, don't we?
Yes, we have Four Swords and Four Swords Anniversary. I this is the only game in C tier for me because I didn't rank Four Swords, so we literally only have Four Swords technically because I put
I
Anniversary
will
Edition a tick above Four Swords.
I will leave this choice to you to put it either above or below the Four Swords. Whatever you want to do.
I'm gonna put it above. I think there's enough positives about it, but it's still painfully mid. So
So I'm gonna bite my tongue on this because I know I just have a fuming hatred for it, and it is personal, but I know the
but
game does have merit.
you're competing against, well, in my case you're competing against Minish Cap, but you're competing against Four Swords
Yeah,
Anniversary, Adventure of Link, Legend Original, and Triforce Heroes. So
and I won't lie, I put Phantom Hourglass on my personal list under all of those, but
under
that's
Minish
just
Cap,
me.
let's
I
go. Oh wait, no. Just kidding.
Yes, I did put it under Minish Cap,
Yeah.
believe it or not.
No, I no,
Very,
I no,
very, very
I
away from it.
completely twisted that in my head. Never mind.
But
Yeah.
I can live with that. We can put it above the Four Swords games in C tier. I can live with that. I know it's a me thing on why I hate Phantom Hourglass.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but on a much better note, Spirit Tracks actually fixed most of my issues. Like the Tower of Spirits, you can go
Zelda,
in segments now.
it
Zelda,
it spoiled Tears of the Kingdom. No, but
look, I mean, it's
then
good.
Spirit Tracks music. That's about all I can say. This is the other game that I haven't played or touched or seen or anything. I
The only
do
thing
think that New Hyrule is kind of stupid.
it is, bless you. But I'm like, the train was fun enough. Like it had its moments where I wanted to throw my DS across the room.
I think that the
Um,
boat is definitely better than the train.
I don't know. Like you're definitely right because you could draw your own routes. But I love just the concept of drawing where I wanted the train to go, and it was just like going around the map. But that's just I was like 12 when I played that game originally, so I know that was just me being a child.
I will say my
The only
cousin is
Go
an
ahead.
advent stan of this game. Um, my he it's I mean the antagonist is his profile picture, so but I know jack nothing about this game, so it's up to you to put it on the tier list.
For me, I put it right below the Oracle games and above Four Swords Adventures in B tier.
Uh,
And I'm not quite sure what we have in that
B
like
B we
yeah,
have
B.
Minish and Four Swords. So bottom,
Put it I would say I wait, Four Swords Adventures.
yes.
I would say put it in between.
In between, okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, we kind of recapped before, so do you need a recap where we're at right
Not
now?
yet.
Okay.
No, let's move on to Skyward Sword, and we'll go from there. Wait, hold on. We forgot another one. Link's crossbow training on the Wii.
Do you want to know where I put this one?
Where'd you put this one?
Top of double S. Let's go.
So you're saying we can get a Twilight Princess game in Double S after all?
Yeah. Yeah. I put Link's crossbow
Not
training
my
above Link's
concession.
Awakening.
No. I will admit
Again,
this is my
like
other.
I said, this was my joke, but I only have
I know.
technically, I think now it's 6 in double S, but before
So now that all my D tier games are announced, I went Triforce Heroes, Link's Crossbow, Adventure of Link, and Phantom Hourglass.
you put that in D.
I have nothing against it, but it's not a Zelda. It's not a real Zelda game.
It's not
like
a real Zelda
it's
game.
like
I put
a
it in double
30-minute
S as a
experience.
joke. So
I know.
So where do you
Look,
want to put it? It doesn't
If
matter.
it was
I
up
put it there
to
as
if
a
it was
joke.
up to me, I wouldn't rank it. But you know what? Just for shits and giggles, put it in somewhere in C tier. I don't care.
Okay. I mean, all right.
I'm not. It's not D tier material for what we have down there.
All right. Let's talk about it legitimately. It's not a Zelda game, but as a game,
It's fun. It's not. It's completely competent as a game. It's just a very short, very basic experience.
why wasn't it in HD like as just an inclusion? It should have been, right?
Like, the funny thing is that originally the Zelda team wanted to make a sequel to Twilight Princess, and Miyamoto like shot that idea down as like make Link's crossbow training instead. That's your sequel.
Is it even a
Well, obviously-
sequel, or it happens at the same time, doesn't it?
I don't
It's
know.
canon. I'm pretty sure that it's canon.
Okay, it has to be a sequel because when does Link have time to go train with a crossbow when Ganon and Zant are out in the world? So it's got to be a sequel,
I don't know.
and it can't be a prequel because he already has the green tunic.
True, I guess.
But no, honestly, it's a fun game. It's very short. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just whenever this game comes up in conversation, I forget this is a game.
I honestly, I wouldn't have ranked this one at all. I was gonna put it in no rank, but as a joke, I put it in S tier. So if you want, we
I'm
can just
fine.
put it in no rank.
Let's put it in no rank. I don't feel comfortable ranking it.
All right.
Oh,
Right next to Game Watch, whatever the fuck Game Watch is. I know what Game and Watch is, but
all right, hold on a sec. My fiance's calling. I'll be right back.
sorry.
I mean, back to where we were. There's no reason to rank it. It's like a very small experience. It's fun.
There are technically 4 games. Oh wait, Ancient Stone Tablets. I know what it is now.
What is it?
It's the 2 games. It's the 2 fill up CDI games. It's both of them.
Is it really?
Yes, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah. No, we're not. No, we're not touching those.
Yeah, and then also they did forget Tingle's 2 games, 3 games.
I don't know enough about them to rank them personally. Like I've seen videos.
2 of them
but
are Japanese exclusive. There's only 1 that released in Europe in English.
Yeah. Well, no, I thought we got. Oh, it was never in the U.S., was it?
It was in English, but it was not in the U.S.
Yeah, it was Europe. Anyways, those
but they
exist.
love
I
Tingle.
don't.
That's why Japan loves Tingle. So
I love Tingle too. I hope he's in Tears of the Kingdom somewhere.
yeah.
Anyways, okay. Skyward Sword. This is this is the last like traditional 3D Zelda game we've gotten. Came out at the very end of the Wii's lifespan in 2011. This game was hated when it first came out.
Okay.
And this was the first 3D Zelda game I got at launch.
So this
outside of like Ocarina. But
it was a hard one for me.
Really?
So the original, obviously, like the HD version, superior, like 10.
Oh, 100%. No doubt.
Controls, everything. Well, we'll get to that. So I think I'm actually going to move my original Skyward Sword placement. Music incredible. Actually, I'll say my actual opinion. I'm gonna move Skyward to bottom of B. Okay, but HD. I'm going to put it below Link's Awakening, above Ocarina 3D.
Wait, so I have
So
ears right now. You want
yes. So
me? You want
allow
me to
me
put?
allow
No.
me to explain myself now. Music, absolutely top tier, better than
Yes.
Twilight.
Agreed. I will agree to
The
that. Yes.
controls are the only thing that bogged me down because even the Switch version, I have a very hard time going back to that game because of the controls. Here's the stickler here. I love the linearity, and
I do too. It's
I
great.
love the art design. I think it's a nice mesh between Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. I think this is better than Twilight Princess. The story, incredible. Some of the best the Zelda series has to offer.
I
Um,
100% agree with that as well.
I
It's
th- I
fantastic.
think the connection to the entirety of the lore of the franchise also incredible. I think the world design is absolutely incredible.
No.
I don't think
It's three locations.
I
I'm sorry.
I'm talking visually. If we're I think this is a stepping stone to what would eventually be Breath of the Wild. I think that
Oh, 100%.
if it was more interconnected, I think we would feel a little bit better about it, even if they were separate. But I think I really enjoy what is available because it's more than just the three locations. You have three locations inside of those three locations as well.
They're
Um,
not they're not extremely varied. Yes, there is some great spots in the overworld, but I am sorry, most of the Elden region, it's very generic volcano area. Most of
I
Faron
if
is very
even
grass
so,
like
I I think that the art style pushes it because
it's a great art style and
as
I
much as I hate desert regions, I think that what we got, especially with the sand sea, the time sand sea,
I agree with that.
I think it's some of the best locations. I mean, if you look at Breath of the Wild, that shit is barren as fuck compared to what's in Skyward Sword. Um,
Agreed.
I think that having again, it's a stepping stone. I think if
Hmm.
we look at it from the perspective of the fact that it's a stepping stone, that it is incredible for what they have. Um, so I think that if we were to get a sequel to the direction that Skyward Sword was going in, I think that we would have an infinitely better game. But I think with what we got, it's pretty great. Now let's talk about dungeons because
They're very good.
I
I
think
still
that
don't
these
think
are
they're the
better
best.
than
No,
Twilight Princess. These are the
there is
best
what
dungeons in
no.
the entire
No.
franchise.
They're a
Yes.
lot of them are quite
Yes.
basic. Ancient Cistern, the Sand Ship, those are top notch. Those are up there with Twilight Princess's best. The rest of them are very unmemorable, and there is a couple in Twilight Princess that are unmemorable as well. But I
Skyward
don't
Sword
think
has that nice mesh of pick up and play and console, whatever
you
you want to
can't.
call it.
I'm gonna fight you on this because I get where
Again,
you're coming from. I
the
know you like
only
the pick up and
negative
play spurts.
the only negative thing that I can say about it is one that it is limited to three regions. However, the regions are nice and tightly packed with lots of things to do, and they are beautiful looking. The second thing is
I
the
agree.
controls because even the Switch version cannot somehow didn't fix it. I think even then, but also at the same time, if we got traditional controls, I think part of what makes Skyward Sword wouldn't really exist if that makes sense. Um,
Right.
but I frankly believe that this is definitely better than Twilight Princess. I think
I'm
graphically, I
not
think
giving you this.
musically, I think dungeonally. I hate Fi and I hate Midna just the same, so it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Um, Dungeons are incredible. Music is incredible. I actually vastly prefer these versions of Link and Zelda than probably any other ones, except for maybe
And
Breath of the Wild. I think Breath of the Wild is
I
on
think
par.
that's a common agreed upon fact though. Like that this Link and Zelda, hell, I think at least as of right now, before we've gotten Tears of the Kingdom, they are the best Link and Zelda. No doubt.
I think that dungeon art style and story push it farther for me for than Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess
I
does not go the extra mile with graphics. I don't like the graphics at all. The music again, it's pretty great, but not as the highs are high, but the lows are low. Um, and I guess again controls Twilight Princess wins on that front, but and think it even has Skyward Sword controls, so in there somewhere. Um, But yes, I this is where we will fight now, I guess, because
Look, I'm a reasonable person. I am. I will admit, as of right now on my ranking, Skyward Sword is my lowest 3D Zelda game. But after talking it through, hearing the reasoning, I am willing to put it above Wind Waker. I am not. I would love to put it above Ocarina. I don't think I'm there. I think I
I
could be, but I'm not there.
I think that I would need to replay both Ocarina and Skyward to fully have that understanding. But right now, I think literally graphics and story push it for me.
I am
So
only willing to do this out of honestly desperation. If we put this in double S, I want Twilight Princess up there, and Skyward can go above Twilight Princess. That is my concession. Otherwise, it's going in
okay,
S,
so
and we're gonna fight.
here, so right now, all we have is Link's Awakening and Ocarina. So, first of all, let's play Skyward Sword.
Okay. I think base Skyward Sword should be somewhere in the A tier.
I have it
Lower A tier.
I think I moved it to top of B. So lower
I
A is fine.
Okay.
All right, because I originally had it in A.
Mhm. And hell,
But right
even
now
with like
it's right now it's below Twilight Princess.
I'd put the Wii version above Twilight Princess just because of how bad the Tears of Light quest is in Twilight Princess.
Okay.
I
Now,
will concede that.
I think the Tears of Light in this game is much better as well, or
I
whatever
agree.
they called it.
They're more fun. They're more varied.
All right. So now this is where okay. So right now, so my current double S, mine is Link's Crossbow Training, Link's Awakening remake, Ocarina remake, or sorry, Majora remake, Ocarina remake, Wind Waker remake. But we moved Wind Waker and Majora down one. But
See, right now, I have 3 unique games in my double S, 2 of which we have not come to yet. And the other 2 are the 2 versions of Twilight Princess.
okay, so yeah, I guess we can put both there, but technically we can't put Skyward HD because it's not here. So
Yeah, but I will 100% give you
now, are they
just
both
to
above Ocarina then?
yes.
Both of them.
Yes. Twilight Princess right above, and then Skyward Sword's above Twilight Princess. I will concede that.
I don't agree, but I will put it there
I don't agree either. So I think we're
because we
I
don't
think
we
can
don't
move
have anything in S, double S, so I think it's fine. Because what we have in S is it's a little weird.
no.
It's a little weird. People will fight on that, but I think we're okay.
Is there a way that like at the end of the video, like you can like clip in both of our tier lists, like screenshots or something, just so everyone can
I
see what we
used to
did?
do that, and then I got lazy, so yeah, I can if you want to.
Okay, let's do that anyway, because I know right now we are very opposed to some of the decisions we've made on this
This
list.
was probably the hardest tier list I had to do because either me and Matt agreed, or if we didn't agree, we would meet literally right in the middle,
Yeah.
and it was quite even, and we were fine with that. So
Because I'm sorry, Twilight Princess and one other Zelda game are literally my top 2 games of all time. I could not leave this call
Again,
without it being double S.
remember, excuse me, my favorite games are probably 3D Land and Galaxy 2, which are more linear 3D Mario games.
Right.
I don't
So
like 3D Land
get-
as much because it's much harder. So
Mhm.
I think what I really enjoyed about Skyward is its linearity, which is some of the things that people don't like about it. And also probably another reason why I enjoy the 2D games not as much as the original. And
I can respect that, yeah.
but the 2 things that just bother me about Twilight is the graphics, which most people can attest to.
Most people
And-
can. I know I'm an outlier with that.
And the dungeons, which I am an outlier with that because
Yes, you are.
They are way too long and way too complicated. And again, that just might be me. But again, but also at the
it
same
is, but
time,
you've justified
Skyward
that.
has some of the best dungeons in the series. So
It's just like a thing you're going to agree to disagree on. I think the fact that you are more of a pick up and play kind of gamer does reflect on your Zelda choices, like you said. And I think that's why you prefer Skyward Sword's like gameplay, the dungeons, and I respect that.
I think the pick up and play gameplay should be widely thought about, especially regardless of the Switch, because if you think about it, most of the which is crazy because most of the time the portable games are pick up and play. But the portable console is probably where you're spending most of your time. I'm sure you play.
Yes.
Well, I don't know anymore, but you probably play more in or TV mode mostly now. But I think mostly a cumulative hours. There's probably more hours spent on DS and 3DS than there are in consoles because usually you go on consoles, you probably have a 5 or less hours sitting to play those games. When you're on portable, you can take it anywhere. You can play it on the bus, your commute to work. You can play it on a trip. Things like that. And they
I
have
mean,
the pick up and play motive is allowing you to stop and play later. But the console experience is you basically need to sit there and chug through a dungeon for 40 minutes. So I think that mindset should be applied to all games, but that's just me. But again, I think Twilight Princess was just it overstayed its welcome, for example, because
and I think a lot of people felt that way, but I think given it made such an impression on me, I don't mind the length because I know it's one of the longest Zelda games. I know that.
and I think I'm not getting into specifics here, but I think some of the puzzles as well are maybe too arduous and confusing. But that again, that's probably
That depends
me.
on the player.
So,
Right.
but I think in tandem with the length of the dungeons is like too much,
Yeah. But you know what? I can respect that. I
But
think we finally found some common ground.
in that same wake, I think there's some confusing parts of Skyward as well. So I know a guy
Yes.
that he just got stuck on. He's like I think it was like the first thing, like because you have to. It's not very clear, but when you first get the beetle, I think you're supposed to like put it up into the.
You're supposed to, yeah, shoot it out the
Yeah,
little
he
hole
didn't.
in the
He
wall.
didn't. He didn't get that, which I think is kind of understandable because it's kind of hidden out of the way. They didn't. It's almost like they needed to completely teach you how to use it and what its lengths are.
Well, yeah, it was a brand new item to the series. They had to.
Yeah, so it's a little weird there, but I can agree that there are some
Yeah.
moments in Skyward that are quite similar.
Yeah. But now that we found a happy medium, we can move on to what I think is the top of the line, cream of the crop 2D Zelda game, A Link Between Worlds. I think it did everything A Link to the Past did.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think this is better than Breath of the Wild in terms of not like the game itself,
I don't know if I go.
but the structure of the game. I think allowing you to have free roam is great. However, I think the Ravio system could be a little bit tweaked because pretty much at the
100%.
beginning of the game, if you grind enough rupees, you can buy or rent all the items, and then once you get to low rule, you can buy all the items, and if you're willing to grind. But I think that allowing the developers to think of creative ways to make dungeon puzzles kind of led that into the shrines. But again, some of the dungeons still require you to use some items, and I don't know. I feel like there should still somehow be a progression system that's more than just upgrades, if that makes any sense. So like if
Well,
you're
I
going
mean,
into a dungeon, like you should be able to get something out of it other than an upgrade.
well, this was another one of the baby steps that Nintendo was taking to get to that Breath of the Wild kind of gameplay. Skyward Sword started it with just kind of being able to go to multiple places, like different ways, more story focused. A Link Between Worlds tried out the go to any dungeon any order you'd like, actually made it accessible to do so without like scaling the game to a point where it's broken, and it worked out very well for them. And I mean, the wall merging mechanic we haven't even touched on
Yeah,
yet.
so
That's fantastic.
the open world mechanic is one thing, but the I would say titular, but it's not. The main gimmick of this game is the wall merging mechanic, which is probably one of the coolest things the Zelda series
It
has
is.
done
It's
to this
so
day.
creative.
Yeah, and I think it's actually more of a mesh of it's Skyward Sword, it's Ocarina, it's a little bit of it's like a lot of unique and bringing back older ideas. It's a well-rounded game. Honestly, there are very few things I can say. Again, it was a baby step, so there's a little bit of problems with the item system, but there's not many bad things I can say. I mean, we already talked about with A Link to the Past. This is probably one of my favorite high rules, and I
Yeah.
guess low roll. Music is great. The dungeons I think are far superior than Link to the Past.
I agree, but I think they still played him a little too safe. Like
Um,
a good bit of them are pretty samey to A Link to the Past. Like they obviously made
but
changes, but
they
none of them
also
are special, I'd say.
again, yeah, none of them really stick out, but they're definitely better than A Link to the Past.
Oh,
Um,
I agree.
they're very again, it was a lot harder to design dungeons now because they weren't quite at the Breath of the Wild level yet, but they also had to
Yeah.
think about, well, they may not have this item here, so what other way can they solve the puzzle? So a lot of that backwards thinking, and so I think that probably left a dent in the dungeon design as a whole, but like I said, I don't think it's the best in the series, but it's better than A Link to the Past, and by far, because some of the Link to the Past dungeons are probably on the same level with Twilight Princess. They overstay their welcome a little bit.
I get you on that.
And I mean, some of the worst dungeons in that game, Ice and Water, are vastly superior here.
Yeah.
But again, the puzzles had to take a little bit of a step down because of the item system. So
Not to get into spoilers, but I think the story in A Link Between Worlds was pretty stupid, all things considered.
stupid?
But that
No.
I
Cookie
no,
cutter?
it was.
Yes. It's
I'm
it's
sorry.
literally just the basically it's a combination of Ocarina's and Link to the Past story. It's very cookie cutter. It's not the
It's
greatest in the world. I never again. You notice that when I like a game story, I like a game story. I didn't say a word about this game story.
yeah.
So
I mean, it's not offensive or anything, but
yeah.
they tried way too hard with the surprise, like
Of
fake
Ravio?
out like villain. Not even Ravio. I'm talking about Hilda.
Oh,
So
I
it's like
don't think I've gotten there. Are you talking about like the return of Ganon again, or
well, just that Hilda turned out to be a villain.
okay? I haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah.
So you just spoiled it for
But no,
everybody, including
sorry.
me. But no.
This game is 10 years old, but no, it's like
I was kind of getting that, but from what I knew of things surrounding the game, I was like, oh, Hilda's just a low rule counterpart, and then there's a little bit in between. It's like she's like Link must do what I say, and in between
yeah.
each dungeons, and I was just like, that's kind of sinister, but at the same time, she just wants to help out her.
No, it's like it's not a bad story. It's cookie cutter. It's not offensive. It just doesn't really do anything for me besides just keep pushing me along the path to the from start to finish, and it's fine.
Mhm.
So with
So
that,
why
I
isn't
want to hear
Hilda's
where
theme the Skyward Sword theme? All right. Anyway, I put
anyways,
it on
where do you
top of A, below Wind Waker. That's where I put it. Above
really?
Skyward,
You don't.
yeah. Or
I actually
above Twilight HD because I moved Skyward down.
wait. Didn't we put Twilight HD in double S though?
Mine. Sorry, my
Oh,
list.
okay. I was confused there for a sec.
So
I actually this is
yeah.
one of the other games I put in double S. Like I love this game. So maybe
haven't
we can put it in low S tier.
I haven't finished it. I really like it a lot. I like the ideas. I think the item system pushes it down to A for me. I guess we have to compromise and say S, but I would say low S.
What are like the last couple games in the S tier right now?
Right now, it's Majora, Wind Waker, both Link's Awakenings originals, and Majora.
Can we
So,
put it?
both Majora's, Wind Waker, and both Link's Awakenings.
Uh, I'd say either put it below Link's like the put it below or right above like Game Boy Link's Awakening.
Hold on, where did I put Link's? Okay, maybe not. I'll move mine and say top of S, but I don't want to put it in double S. I think that's too sacred.
I don't think I want to put it in top of S. I mean,
but I think I'm gonna move. I think.
With the ranking we have right now, I don't.
It's hard to say because I think original Link's Awakening is worse than Oracle of Ages, but I put the remake way above it.
Mm-hmm.
So I put the original above the Oracle game, so
Let's just stick it somewhere in S for right now, and we'll come back to it later.
okay. I'll just put it at the bottom for now.
That works. All right,
Because
now
I
it's
definitely
time.
agree, but I just don't think double S. I think double S is too sacred right
Per-
now.
my thing is, personally, with how I have my list, I think it makes total sense. With how we have our list right now, it doesn't make sense to go there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now let's move on to probably the biggest spin-off the series has, with not one, not two, but three versions of Hyrule Warriors.
All right, so let me tell you a little story.
Let's hear
I
it.
don't know jack shit about these games, at all. I played a little bit of
Perfect.
the original. I wanted to finish it. I just haven't had time to. I know the 100% slog. I don't think I'm going to let's play it just because of the fact that it's a spin-off.
Yeah. Mhm.
But I do want to experience it at some point. I tried to watch a let's play, but the only good one is by Zelda Master. Um,
Yeah.
so I will say that these games are great solely because of a few reasons. One, music. Well,
Mhm.
duh. Two, Link. Well, for you maybe. I don't know. Zelda is the hottest incarnation we have had. Uh,
No, it's between this one. I think in terms of Zelda designs, I like this one and Skyward Sword's the most. I will admit, I think
Skyward
I think
is
Twilight.
no
I think
Skyward is my
Twilight.
favorite. Skyward is my favorite.
Yeah,
However, this one is like
I'm not gonna
its
lie.
design is great. I think that the
I think it,
design of
yeah,
this one is great, but the
design
story,
wise,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Badassery, I still think Twilight Princess Zelda takes it. But I mean,
No,
it.
what?
She's a fucking badass.
Not no. I even put
Okay, we're not
Breath of the
getting in this debate
Wild
now.
over that.
We're not.
Oh my god!
The Wild
All
Zelda
right.
has done nothing to prove.
She is not.
Anyways,
What did she do? What did
fucking
Twilight Princess do?
have you not seen the final boss fight? At least she helps out.
Kind of, and not to mention she wasn't even in the game for half of it.
Yeah,
I mean, most games
but
are like that, but like,
I was gonna say you could say that about most games.
but
Like,
she is. I feel like she was like the most shafted she's been in Twilight Princess.
I think I like not counting Sheik. I think Ocarina is because yeah, it's Zelda, but most of the games Sheik is their own character. But
Yeah.
anyways, we're not
All right,
talking
all right, all
about
right.
that.
Hyrule Warriors. Okay, so positives, right? Music, Zelda, fan service. Got
Oh
it,
my god, yeah.
Um. Oh, Linkle. She's nice.
Hmm.
But
Well, I mean, like
yeah, in terms of
Hyrule Warriors,
gameplay, I can't. I mean, it's pretty satisfying, but I can't really give you
it
anything on
has
that.
like almost 30 characters throughout the entire series. Literally, there was like 2 DLC passes for it. Added so much content. It takes hundreds upon hundreds of hours to complete.
So there are actually
Uh,
a few more than you think. So post Legends DLC,
yes,
they actually added the Legends DLC to the Wii U one, which is stupid and like demeans
Yeah.
the whole Warriors or the whole Legends thing. So I don't know. But yeah, you can go
Well, I
ahead and
mean,
take the wheel and finish off because
as
yeah.
I played like 100 hours on Wii U. My screen's bad, but I have 70 hours on the 3DS version. Don't play the 3DS version. And
I own it and all the DLC, so
I have about 110, 115 hours in the Switch version. So obviously I like this game. But you have to really be in the mood for a turn your brain off hack and slash. Like the game gets very repetitive after a while. Like, yeah, there's a lot of weapons for every character, but once you learn it, if it's either your cup of tea or not, you're gonna either never want to play it again, or it's gonna get very samey after a bit. Like the appeal
yeah.
will lose itself. But there's so much content that if this is like your kind of game, I think this is still to this day,
I
just
think
based on gameplay, the best Nintendo Warriors game that we've gotten.
of course, I would love to see some more because there's only two, there's three, but I don't care about the other
There's
two.
4 actually.
Well, I mean franchises. So we got.
Oh, got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got
Yeah.
Zelda, Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
What's the other one? There's
No,
one
we only
more,
have
right? There's
no.
only
It's just
Zelda and
there's
Fire Emblem.
there's 2 Fire Emblem Warriors games. There's 2 Zelda Warriors games.
Okay. Well, again, like I said, I would love to see another one, but I think when I first played it, and the reason why I didn't go back to it was 'cause I was confused. I was hacking and
I get
slashing, and
that.
then there was a point where there was like no enemies, and I was just wandering around finding where the fuck I was supposed to go.
Yeah, that happens sometimes, and I really don't know if it's like a glitch or just like they don't load them in properly in some missions, but yeah, it happens.
So that was one thing that bogged it down because it was a little confusing. Because there's no like, they tried to put like puzzles in it. I don't know if there was puzzles in the original Warriors games, but they tried to put like Zelda-esque puzzles and it didn't work.
And they're so dumb.
Yeah. So it just made it more confusing. Especially the map is some of the maps are huge and they're very confusing. You know,
Yeah.
something I just realized, what if they did like what if you could like do like a Bowser's Minions type mode where it's like co-op PvP and you could like build your own armies. That would be
Oh,
really cool.
that'd be sick.
Cuz then from your perspective it's just hacking and slashing like the normal game, but you have one person that the other person is controlling. I just thought
Right.
of that. That sounds so cool. Anyway,
I'm down.
um so
All right.
purely because of okay, we haven't even talked about DLC, but again, I guess we said fan service. That's an
I
umbrella.
mean, like the game basically when it first came out on Wii U focused on Ocarina, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword. That was basically it. Then there were some unique characters.
I
Wii U DLC added like a couple of Majora characters,
you
a
know
couple other characters.
I think Mario Kart is supposed to be based on Twilight, right? But I feel like it's more Hyrule because he's very Skywardy too, right? He's
Are
like
you
a
talking about
mesh. In
like his
Mario Kart 8, he
yeah.
looks like the Warriors version, but without the scarf. That's what he looks like.
Basically, what happened with that version of Link is it's not any version of Link specifically. It's like this Nintendo version they created around that time.
Really?
It's based more so on Skyward Sword Link,
Hmm.
like meshed with a little bit of Twilight Princess, but it is mostly just a unique design.
And even this
It's
one's unique too.
yeah.
All
So
right,
it's
yeah. So I put
but
one above the other, one's slightly, but I mean, I guess you could probably put the Wii U above 3DS, but I think if we're talking like post-launch,
oh,
all DLC
did you not
included. What?
did you not rank Definitive Edition?
Yes. So I put Hyrule and or sorry, Wii U and then Legends one after the other in A. Both of them above A Link to the Past remake and below Twilight HD.
I put Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U and Definitive Edition in A tier, very low A tier, and I put Legends at the bottom of C tier. Not because the DLC wasn't good, because that game is almost unplayable if you don't have a new 3DS,
Okay,
and even if you do, it runs like crap.
I I won't have any say in that because I haven't touched it, but I just put it up above it because technically it's the better version. So
With content wise, yes.
again, excluding definitive, but I put that in a completely different tier of its own. So I put so let's say my A from bottom to top: Link to the Past remake, Hyrule Warriors, Legends, Twilight HD, Skyward Sword, A Link Between Worlds, Wind Waker,
Okay.
and then definitive is bottom of S.
I will 100% agree that Definitive goes bottom of S. I will.
All right, let's
I
put
put
that there.
both. Yeah, I think Hyrule Warriors Wii U should go somewhere mid A, and the 3DS version, I don't like the content's great. I can bump it up to low B tier, but I am not willing to put that. I'm sorry, piece of junk anywhere above B tier.
You say piece of junk like it's gonna trigger me, like I'm indifferent.
Oh,
Um,
you putting it in A tier, it shocks me.
I put Hyrule Warriors, generally speaking, in A tier, and then I put the
Okay.
definitive in S tier, and then I just put the
I
3DS version above it because it's the better version, quote unquote.
it's yeah.
So
I would say bottom of S for definitive, somewhere lower A for normal, somewhere low B, high C for legends.
okay, so I'm gonna put low B for Legends,
Okay.
Hyrule Warriors, because the original It's better than Twilight, worse than Skyward.
I can agree to that.
Nah. I gotta think about
I
this.
mean,
I
I
don't
would
think
say. Go ahead.
personally. I think it's better than Ocarina, but we already have Ocarina above Oracle, Skyward, and Twilight.
It can't go. It. Can, I don't think it can go that high.
I think it's better than Oracle.
I will go with you on that. That's fine.
Below Ocarina. Okay.
That's fine. I can live with that.
All right.
All right, and
One more spin-off.
Well, we have one more mainline, one more spinoff, but
Yeah, one more spin-off first, I guess.
do you want to do the spinoff first? It came
Yeah.
out 3 years. All right.
I know it came out after, but I think we saved the best for last. Well, what is considered to be the best
I
for
think
last.
we can have a discussion, but yeah. Age of Calamity, I think the gameplay and story.
Oh, wait. You're talking Age... My bad.
You're talking about Cadence of Hyrule.
I'm talking about Cadence, yes. I'm sorry.
All right, we have 2 more. No, you're good. I forgot about Cadence there for
Yeah.
a second. Let's start with Cadence.
Yeah, we can talk Cadence, then we can talk Breath of the Wild, then we can end it with
All right, sounds good.
Age of Calamity. All right. Cadence. Obviously, I think I downloaded it. I don't remember. I have so many games, but it's one of those games that I bought so I could have it. Oh no, I have it physically. That's right. I was able to get it physically, and I have
same.
I think I have the DLC. That's the one. I'm not sure if I have it. I haven't touched it. Haven't seen anything of it. However, I have seen gameplay a little bit. Actually, you know what? No. Never mind. I put it in middle of A, but only because of music. But actually, do not take my word or my opinion at all. I don't know jack shit about this game. I'm gonna put it in the Spirit Tracks Triforce Four Swords area. I don't know anything. I don't know anything.
Okay. So, I didn't finish this game. I did play a good bit of it. It is a fun time, but it is not. It's obviously not a Zelda game. It is a.
Well, same as
whatever
Hyrule or Warriors.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. Like, at least that feels more so like a Zelda game. Like, obviously,
That
a very
feels like
different.
more of like a spin-off 3D, and then Cadence
Yeah,
feels like
for
a
sure.
spin-off 2D.
No, for me, when I think of Cadence of Hyrule, I think it's a different franchise that got guest characters. Like,
I mean, that's what
I
it's
know
called.
they're placing it in the Zelda franchise. Like, it's in the Zelda world. I mean, obviously it's Zelda.
Have you played Crypt of the Necrodancer though?
No, I have not.
So that is also very difficult for us to put it on here because we haven't played the original either.
I mean, right now I put it high C tier because I mean, it's a very well-made game. The music is phenomenal. It's fun to play.
I think the remixes are great. I think the designs
They're fantastic.
The designs of Zelda and like I don't know, is there Ganon in this game?
I don't think so, but I know Skull Kid got in as DLC.
Okay, well, I think that this is the best 2D incarnation of Link. It's like it looks kind of like the Oracle version of him.
Yeah.
And then Zelda looks kind of Ocarina-y.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're cute. I think I like the design of Cadence as a whole. Say graphically, it's pretty good.
It's a very pretty game. I mean, for me, it's just kind of like it exists. I want to play more of it, but whenever I'm thinking of a Zelda game, it's not one I'm going to think of.
All right, we can.
So I mean, I would say low B or high C.
Whatever.
I want to say low B just because it feels like an insult to put a game with that kind of quality in C. So let's do bottom of B.
Bottom of B. I have no words. So.
All right. Okay. This one makes me anxious because I'm not gonna fight too hard over it, but there is a right spot for it to be.
So.
Breath of the Wild.
Would you like me to go first, or would you like to go first?
Let me have a crack at it. All right. So.
Do you want the good news or the bad news?
I want you to be quiet for a second. No, so obviously I'm replaying Breath of the Wild right now because my hype for Tears of the Kingdom was so huge. So I'm going through this game right now for like the first time in a few years. I still remember a lot of it, but my mind is kind of hazed on some of the smaller details. I have many issues with this game. However, everything that it does great, it does beautifully. The open world, while it can be boring at times, there is so much to explore in every facet of this land. I think the shrines were a fantastic addition to the game. I think for what we have, Hyrule Castle as a dungeon is where I want to see the future of dungeons go. Then like the combat's fun, the characters are great. The story is very basic, but I think with a more present story, which I hope Tears of the Kingdom provides us, I think it's gonna top Skyward Sword, but obviously Breath of the Wild does not. In terms of bad stuff, I think weapon durability is a thing that a lot of people dislike. I like the concept of it, but it needs a lot of refinement. The Divine Beasts, I'm sorry, I like the concept of them. They are the worst dungeons in the series because they're not really dungeons.
If you want to call them dungeons, sure.
Because I mean, in my most recent playthrough, I go through each one in like 15, 20 minutes because they're so simple.
All right, are you ready?
All right, yeah, I'm ready for you.
Let me get it out of the way first. I put it below Link to the Past, above Majora in B. Now, it is not it's not good, it's not bad. The reason why I put it here, one, the open world, they did it, redefined open world, but there's just nothing in it, visually and actually. Music, same way. The only stick out theme is Cass, and that's because of Smash. Graphically, this game is good for a Switch game, obviously. I think if once we see a little bit more of Tears, I think I'm gonna say Tears is gonna up it graphically, just because there's just.
I mean,
it's just
to go with
nothing
that
in
one
the
though,
world.
Breath of the Wild is a Wii U game first and foremost.
True. Yeah.
So,
There
but
were
yeah,
a
I agree with
couple frame drops in some areas as well, which doesn't matter to me, but it's quite noticeable for some people. But let's talk technically. I don't want to compare to Divine. I am one of the few people that do not compare Divine Beast to dungeons. I think that there are no dungeons in it. But that being said, I think I really enjoy the Divine Beast. I think that the moving around of the thing, I think it's a brand new take on what Zelda has already done. I think it's great. But again, like I said, I'm longing for traditional dungeons. So if we get both, cool. If they're trying to compare them, they're saying it's the new dungeons, and I'm gonna be quite upset. So if we're thinking about it as they're not dungeons, I think that they're great. About what you said about Hyrule Castle, I think that because you can break Hyrule Castle in half, there's like no dungeon there. You could literally just climb to the top and be done.
Which is true.
So if it was more like you were required to do this, then yeah, I would like it a lot.
But what
more.
I mean is like overall layout, being able to explore the entire thing. Like if you turn that into like certain doors being locked to keys, a mid boss somewhere, like the actual boss on top, and you couldn't cheese it, it'd be a great dungeon.
I think if we were to bring back dungeons, I think that some of the design philosophies of Breath of the Wild, other than the freedom of how you solve the puzzles, should be taken out. I think that it needs to be linear. I think the dungeons themselves need to be linear. They need to have a point A and a point B, a final boss at the end of it, and an item that you get. I think that.
Well,
I'm thinking like. What's that?
Just kind of going off on like a side tangent. Like, if anyone worries about fake leaks, ignore like the next 2 minutes. But there was a leak that came out a couple days ago. Nobody believes it's real. But the concept this person says is happening is that there's like 8 or 9 dungeons, and you go in, and like there's chances that you will have the items you need to get through it. Either that, or you have to like go through the part of the dungeon you can, get the item, and go to a different dungeon. I like that concept if they do it right. I don't think it makes sense for a casual player though. I think
that if we were to return to traditional dungeons, I think they need to be traditional. Is what I'm trying. I think
we're going to get dungeons back. I mean, we've seen shrines are gone. We've seen the divine beasts are gone. They're not gonna upend like that tradition. Every single Zelda game,
Oh, and I fully
like even
believe
if
shrines will be back in some capacity. They just won't be shrines.
I agree, I don't think there's going to be 120 of them this time. I think they're going to go for like a more proper balance,
Honestly,
and I think we're getting dungeons.
I think that we will get big mainline dungeons, but I think if we took the concept of shrines and then just put them in the overworld, and we have one or two puzzles that are around the overworld that can get you items, heart pieces slash souls, I if imagine like removing the idea of the shrine, just placing it out in the overworld, and then the idea of random heart pieces scattered throughout the land, but a little bit more in depth with them, like a little bit more of a puzzle before you get to that.
Not to turn this into like a Tears of the Kingdom discussion, because
Yeah.
obviously that's not why we're here. I do think like underground and sky are going to be very big segments of the game. Obviously, we've seen that with the sky. I think that's going to be true with the underground as well. And I think that's where we're going to get a good bit of like our traditional dungeons as well as like shrine replacements. I love the overworld idea. Like I hope they do a lot more with the overworld, because obviously
Because that will fill it up more too.
well, I mean, they've showed us very little of the game, and I don't want to talk about art book spoilers, but character designs, there has been a time jump of multiple years, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So like the current theory is a lot of rebuilding has happened, and I think that's where a lot of the new like layouts for the overworld alongside cave entrances come in. So obviously we'll know in about another month and a half, but
Yeah. All right.
there's a
Well.
lot of room to go for Breath of the Wild's overworld.
All right. Let's go back. So the reason why I
Yes.
put it in middle B is because of, well, one, because I am not a huge open world player. I'm a completionist, so having tight knit areas are kind of my thing. And again, we talked about the linearity. Um, I think that there is too much of nothing in the world, um, and there are some things, some things, but there is too much of nothing. If that makes any sense. Music again, non-existent. Um, Divine Beasts are a great idea. One of the few pluses of the game. Again, if we're not um, counting them as dungeons, lack of dungeons is one thing I will put it down for.
Yes.
Shrines again as a replacement of dungeons, not so much. I think as a answer to things to do in the open world, I think it was a great idea. Plus, there, I don't really enjoy the souls. I think I would prefer to go back to heart pieces and heart containers. That's just me.
I respect
Um,
that.
I think that there is a lot to do. Some might argue there's too much to do. Others might argue there's not enough. And I would argue that regardless if there's too much or not enough, they're not very clear. So there are tons of side quests in the game, but you can ignore all of them if you want to, which I'm not going to say that the side quests should be required, but I think that they should be a little bit more clear. And I think that this is slightly better than the Kinstone system, because at least there they tell you that they have a kinstone that they want to fuse with you. Like in this game, you have to like talk to every random NPC to see if they have a side quest. And I think there's too many randomly generated NPCs to have them. And you know, you never know which one is a side quest or a random event. Like the Yiga clan, for example. Like you could just randomly run into them. Things like that. I think that there should be more clear side quests that you should want to do. I mean, I didn't even know that there was a house that Link could buy until I watched Nico B play through it. Things like that. Like they should be a little bit more clear. But again, I think that Breath of the Wild, we originally, this I would like in 2017 I would have said this is peak. I think this is what Skyward Sword and Link's Between Worlds have been building up to. Now seeing more and more of Tears of the Kingdom, I think Tears of the Kingdom is where it's going to peak. I think Breath of the Wild was also another stepping stone. Um, uh, yeah, I don't think. Oh, weapon durability, hate that. However, like I talked about the original game, combat is fucking spectacular in this game. If we removed the 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 durability, I think this is the best combat we've had in the series. I think having different ways that you could fight the enemies, and hell, just hand to hand sword combat, great. The dodging, I love it. It's great, satisfying as well.
So my perspective to a lot of things that you had complaints in and stuff like that is I do agree with you that the overworld is very empty. I will still say I love exploring it because I'm always looking for Koroks. I'm always looking for a villager or like somebody explorer to help. I'm
And
always tracking down like enemy camps. So it's like I get where you're coming from.
and
I
I agree.
respect it because
I
it's
think
very empty.
I think that some of it is the visuals. I think there's some more visually interesting areas. Like maybe there's just like a random, like I would say you know that area in Kakariko where the fairy fountain is, where all those
Yeah,
like colors are. I think if there's
yeah.
more standy outy areas other than like, oh, there's a dark forest over there, and then even then it's just kind of, they all kind of blend together. I think that's kind of part of it because it's an open world, but
I
um
will say I do think that's obviously a of like a actual like thought of choice because obviously this is a post-apocalyptic game. This is the worst Hyrule's really ever been.
yeah. So I
With the
think
music, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if there's, again, I think most of it is visually, uh, but I think if we're talking about like content, I think, yeah, I think it's packed. I think you'll
Yeah.
always be finding a Korok. You'll always find a new place to visit. Um, you'll always find a new shrine or a new dungeon or a new, what are they called? Guardian thing, divine beast.
A garden.
So there's
Yeah,
always something to do. I won't ignore that. But there's a lot of
yeah.
downtime, and it's just not really cool to look at either. So
And you've already said that you're not huge on open world, so I can absolutely respect where you're coming from. Moving on to the music is when the game first came out and I didn't really understand what they're going for with it, I was very upset about the lack of music.
mhm.
But after exploring this Hyrule I've put over 300 hours into this game over the past 6 years.
I
I have learned to appreciate why there's no music because I mean like if imagine riding around this world just hearing like the Hyrule theme from Ocarina of Time all the time. I know that's not where
no.
they could have gone with it, but I admit I like the ambience. I like that the music picks up when something of interest is happening. I like going into a village and actually getting a theme because you're actually somewhere of note.
Yeah,
But
but
I
even
also do
then, there's
understand.
just
I do
nothing.
understand it.
Like,
I
okay,
get that.
I agree and I understand. I know that it was meant to be ambiotic ambience. Um, I understand that and I agree, but it just, again, alongside with the empty world, it just seems like there's nothing in the background, and most of it is taken up by sound effects, and the music that is in the game is just not that good. I mean, Cass isn't like my favorite theme in the world, even if it's the one theme in the game. But like when you enter in Kakariko Village, actually Kakariko doesn't even have music. Um, uh,
It does actually. It's just very minor.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like even in the
And I will
places of
agree with
note,
that.
there, like hell, what if we went into these places and maybe Tears of the Kingdom had more of these of like actual landmarks instead of just towers that you start hearing bustling music, or maybe it's a nighttime and there's a festival. And I mean, I'm not saying that they should add festivals and time schedules like Majora's Mask. Maybe they
Right.
are, but it just needs to be there just needs to be more
I get that.
music.
And I mean, I fully agree with you. But I mean, like with the empty overworld, I didn't see it as empty because I constantly am getting distracted everywhere I go. Like I'll be going to my next objective, I'll look over, I'll see something that looks like a Korok seed, or I'll see a new shrine. But I do understand that it is a empty world. Like a lot of the time, it is downtime, and for certain people, that is not what they look for, and I totally respect that. As for like villagers, and it's like you were talking about, like difficulty of finding side quests, you have to talk to every single NPC. What I've kind of figured out is usually the ones walking around the world do not offer side quests unless they're like right next to a not divine beast, a shrine, or Cass is there. Usually you're always going to find side quests in villages and at stables. There's basically nowhere else. But it still is the point where you have to go around and talk to everyone in hopes of finding a side quest. And usually the side quests are either go defeat some enemies or collect these items.
Yeah.
And
And
it gets
there's not
repetitive
even
very
like,
quickly.
I know everyone hates the trading quest, but there wasn't even a trading quest in this game, and that's like
No.
one of the things that you have in a Zelda game.
Right. But I mean,
They
like,
could have even
we've
changed it up. Just like imagine like going through the open world and oh my god, that's the guy. Like
yeah.
just all the way in fucking
I
Gerudo, and then
think
you go to
right now, the way I look at it, I'm not gonna lie. Breath of the Wild, just with the amount of content, with how amount of time I've spent in it, it is my favorite game of all time. But I know Tears of the Kingdom is going to be so much better than it because this is just the groundwork. Like the story is very
oh
iffy.
yeah, it's not even there either.
The world is empty to an extent. The music is not great. It looks like every little thing we've seen about Tears of the Kingdom, whether it be the art book leak that I'm not going to talk about, the trailers we've seen, everything we've criticized about, it looks like it's going to get fixed. And I really would not be surprised that even if weapon durability comes back, we're still going to see revisions to it. Like, I think the durabilities are going to go up. I think that if a weapon breaks, you're either going to get to keep it and get to go, like, repair it, like at a blacksmith's, or you can do that before it breaks. I think this game is going to be full of refinement, unlike Breath of the Wild just being a complete overhaul of the entire series. I think this is going to be what Majora's Mask was to Ocarina in the best way possible.
I think that if all of my complaints were answered, and the one thing that people complain about is that Hyrule is exactly the same. It's probably not going to be, but that's the only thing that I could see that could put. What the fuck? Is that you?
Wait,
Sorry,
what's
an
that?
ad just played and it sounded like someone was breathing. All right. But
No,
no,
like
if
to
if
wrap up
all of
this.
my complaints were like answered and the one thing is the world, I think it would be infinitely better already.
I think music is going to be better. I think the overworld is going to have so much more to do in it. Even if it doesn't, you have the sky. We've seen a couple of cave entrances already, so obviously they're hiding the underground from us.
Hmm.
I think dungeons are going to be back. I hope side quests are there. I hope story is much more present. And with Ganondorf actually speaking, I think it's going to be
Hmm.
like it's going to be a great game. Obviously, once we play it, we'll come back and actually have an actual discussion on it. But I know you have it in B. I have it at the top of double S. Where do you think this should land?
I think what are we 6 years on? Jesus, six
Yeah,
years on. It just can't be double S anymore. I think that
I
there
respect
are
that, and I'm willing to not put it in double
too
S.
many flaws, and with retrospect and with Tears of the Kingdom on the horizon, I will settle with top of A.
How about very low S?
Do
No.
you really want the double line in S?
Then I'd rather knock something off of S down to A. I feel like Breath of the Wild did so much for the
There's
series.
so many
We
in
can't.
A. I feel like we should have more in the middle because we have so many in A right now.
All right, how about this? Let's put it in top of A for right now. We'll knock out Age of Calamity, and we're going to go through every single tier
Yeah.
and find the right order.
All right. All right. Age of
All right.
Calamity. Didn't touch this one. Story is garbage. Music is incredible. Gameplay is exactly the same as Hyrule Warriors,
It's
just
not.
without the
It's actually
fan.
better.
Oh, okay. Without the
The
fan
gameplay is
service.
refined.
I didn't put it on the list, so I'm just gonna put it at B, just because I don't
I'm
know.
gonna have my little tangent with this. The story had so much potential, but they had to go ruin it with the time travel. It can't be canon. That being said, the story, like cutscene wise, I love it. I adore it. The gameplay, while being better and more refined than Hyrule Warriors, I still find myself wanting to go back to Hyrule Warriors instead of replaying this one. And this one doesn't have much replayability like the original does, just because it's more story focused. I'd be happy putting this somewhere in B.
All right, B it is. All right, so what are the ones that we're missing? Skyward HD,
Age
Age
of
of
Calamity.
Calamity.
That's
That's
it.
it. Okay.
Yep.
All right, let's
All
go
right.
back through this. No one's gonna watch this. There's no
Let's
way.
let's I know. Let's start at D and go our way up.
Go
Just in
up.
case we need to
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So D. So do you want to start from the bottom and go up, or just go
Yeah.
D top to bottom?
Let's just do D top to bottom.
Okay. So
And then do it at throughout the
D.
rest.
Adventure of Link, Legend of Zelda, Triforce Heroes.
I'm content with those being staying there.
All right. C. Phantom Hourglass, Four Swords Anniversary, Four Swords.
I think I'm content there too.
Oh wait, actually, I should probably switch. Oh, here. There we go. No, my porn. I'm just kidding. I don't have that. All right.
Not Mifa.
Oh God. Oh my. Oh my God. That sounds terrible.
It does.
You know what sucks is I've actually seen that and I hate it.
Same.
All right. C. Phantom Hourglass, Four Swords Anniversary, Four Swords. We good?
I'm good.
All right. B. Minish Cap, Spirit Tracks, Four Swords Adventures, Hyrule Legends, Cadence. Oh, did we throw Age of Calamity here?
Yeah, Age of Calamities in B, just for just so people would know, I would put it above Cadence.
Okay, that doesn't matter to me. We
I'm good with that.
All right.
Yep.
A. This is where it gets fuzzy because I feel like we're a little top heavy here.
Oh, we might move some down.
Yeah. All right. So A. Breath of the Wild, Wind Waker, Link to the Past remake, original Link to the Past, Ocarina, Hyrule Warriors, Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, Twilight Sword, Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess. What are we thinking?
Is it bad that I want to move Wind Waker down to B?
That's a big jump.
I know it is.
Why do we have?
Well, my thing is, it's when I think of moving stuff to B, it's that and the Oracle games because I cannot move Link to the Past farther down. I can't do it. I mean, is there anything you'd like to petition to move down?
To move down?
Yeah, I don't want to move
Twilight
anything up
Princess.
at this point.
I'm just kidding. Because I think oracles are better than A Link to the Past.
And that's the thing. I wish I could agree with that. I can't.
So I have oracles higher. So I would be fine with moving Wind Waker down to B. It's just such a large jump.
I mean, my reasoning for it is the Triforce chart hunting. It is awful in Wind Waker on GameCube. And I think the H.
Now we'll look at B. We'll look at A.
Okay.
We'll look at S. Wow.
Okay. And outside of that, I think that's all I want to move.
Okay, so S, Majora 3D, Wind Waker HD, Link Dix, Original Links, Majora, Link Between Worlds, Definitive. You know what? I think we can.
Where do we have Majora 64 again?
Middle of S.
Can we move it down to A? I don't know. I don't want to, but out of all the options,
Can we move Oracle above Wind Waker? Original.
Oracle.
The Oracle games above the original Wind Waker.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I will put the original Oracle the Oracle games above Wind Waker.
Okay.
I will move Link's Awakening to top of A, both of them. And then I think can I move Majora, the original Majora below Hyrule and Links Between Worlds.
Hyrule Warriors?
Yeah, or definitive. But it's basically I'm just
No.
moving it to the bottom of S.
Uh, yeah, I think that's okay.
All right, and then S, we're good. I think S is pretty sacred. So, all right, let's
Okay.
recap top to bottom now. Double S, Link's Awakening, Skyward Sword HD, Twilight Princess HD, Ocarina 3D. Good. Regular S, Majora 3D, Wind Waker HD, Link Between Worlds, Definitive Edition, Majora's Mask, or OG.
Okay.
A, Link's Awakening DX, Original Link's Awakening, Breath of the Wild, Link to the Past Remake, Link to the Past, Ocarina, Hyrule Warriors, Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess.
Either Breath of the Wild needs to be much higher in A or it needs to be bottom of S. That's my one sticking point right now. I think it's way too low.
I can put it above the original. It's definitely better than the original Link's Awakening. So I'll put it top of A.
I can live with that.
And then Oracle of B, Oracle of Seasons, Ages, Wind Waker, Original, Minish Cap, Spirit Tracks, Four Swords Adventures, Hyrule Warriors Legends, Cadence of Hyrule. C, Phantom Hourglass, Four Swords Anniversary, Original Four Swords, The Adventure of Link, Legend of Zelda, Triforce Heroes.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the definitive tier list.
Oh, no, don't say definitive.
The definitive. This is the Legends tier list.
This is what we could compile together without, like, actually hurting each other.
For shits and giggles, let's throw. Where Link's crossbow training is going in double S. I'm sorry, top of double S.
You know what? Fine, put it right at the top.
BS Zelda. I'm going to put that above the original Zelda because it's technically the original Zelda with Link to the Past graphics. And then
I can live with that.
Ocarina of Time Master Quest. This is the one that we can kind of at least think about. I'm not gonna touch Game & Watch, Picross, or Ancient Stone tablets.
Put it in B tier below, somewhere below Wind Waker.
To spite you, I'm going to put it above Minish Cap.
You know what? Fine. I can respect that.
All right,
it's still Ocarina of Time in most ways. I can respect that.
All right, we did it. That was for bonus.
What was this, like a 2-hour video?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
we have like the Zelda eras, or
I mean, I think best you can do is a smaller part for like the start of the video to maybe like Four Swords Adventures Minish Cap, somewhere around there, and then like the second part is Twilight onward, or I think Twilight Princess is where we could like, it's either before it goes into part 2 or right after it goes into part 2.
So I don't want to do post. We could do by the console. But the problem with that is that we moved a lot around.
Yeah. I mean, I think the best you could do is like the full video, maybe like actual, because the problem is most consoles only have one Zelda game. So I mean, like, not.
Remember the clips that I did for the cups?
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like a couple of these we did like 3 minutes on them. Like, if you want to try and go for it, I'm for it, because I mean, it would be a way to split up the video.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I think I think this is the only one where we changed a lot drastically.
But I mean, you could also just have like the last like 10-15 minutes of us reorganizing the entire chart and be like
at the end of every clip.
Final ranking.
At the end of every clip.
No, don't do that. But like, I think if somebody really cares about where he plays everything, they're either going to just watch the final ranking or they're going to somehow slog through or just skip to the end of this long ass video.
Yeah, again, like the only reason I'm thinking about this is because it is so long, so I wanted to split it up somehow.
Yeah, but I
And
mean,
the consoles is the only. Yeah, the console is the only logical way I can do it, because if we did 2D and 3D, that would require a lot of jumping, and if we did
yep.
by the timeline order, it would be a lot of jumping. So
Yeah, so I mean, it's
timeline
really
as in like the beginning, the child era, the adult era, the whatever.
no, don't go that way.
That's
Don't
what
go
I'm
that
saying.
way. That'd be a mess.
That's
I would
the
say
only
either
way
you
I can even, or it's not even, but it's the logical way of distributing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you, really. I think clips based on console, if you just want to like cut the rare skip, because usually the same system are in like back to back. I think the only difference to that's going to be the Game Boy, like Game Boy Color, because obviously we jump from Link's Awakening to then Ocarina of Majora, then back to the Oracle games.
Maybe there is
But I mean,
no
like,
way to actually do this.
So that's the problem. Like, if you do the Game Boy, do you cover Game Boy Advance too?
I would, because there's the shorter video.
I mean, if you want to put the time into it, I think that's the best way of doing it. Otherwise,
I think
you
would
do,
just
like,
do like
I would either do it that way or
15
split it into
minute-
like two or.
we can do 15-minute clips, and then after 15, whenever we end our discussion on a particular game.
Okay.
But again, I have to actually edit this video first because we had a few interruptions, which is not typical. So
it's all good. But let's wrap up this video, because obviously at the end, I'm hoping we can just shove in both of our like complete tier lists so that you guys know, like, it was hard to follow where we placed everything individually. So if you can throw in the actual like images, whatever, or yeah. But this was a mess, but it was a fun mess.
Yep, and there should be some more messes coming your way.
I still can't believe Tears of the Kingdom is like 6 weeks away.
Mario first.
Oh god, yeah. Anyways,
Your little buffer.
Yeah, if anyone got through this entire video, thank you so much. This was a disaster to make, but it was fun. It's always fun when we start arguing, because it never ends well.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching.
In a terrible tier list, because Twilight and Menace should be at the very bottom, while Skyward and Link Between Worlds should be at the very top.
Look, I think if anyone actually sees this, you're gonna be very wrong. I think we both have some pretty bad opinions at points, though. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Tune in the future. I'm hoping to have a video or so up before Tears of the Kingdom comes out. If I don't, look forward to my official review of Tears of the Kingdom sometime in the end of May. But yeah, alright, thank you guys for watching. See you guys later.
Bye.